Again, like I said, I'm now recording. It's a pleasure to have everybody here. Just so I can double check, Mason, give me a thumbs up. You can see me, you can hear me, if that's correct. All right, thank you very much. The way we're gonna run shop is I'm gonna do some housekeeping stuff, just kind of read through it. And then there's about 50 individual parts of this that's gonna probably make or break someone's agency for the better. And they're all hints, tips, and expert secrets that I figured out, learned, done, tested, that is working for us. They will probably work for you, but implementation is everything. And I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a segment and then open the Zoom chat and answer a couple questions. And I'll be cognizant of time. I can't answer everything, stuff like that. But that's what I found for me to be the best way moving forward. So this is behind the scenes of how I get 4 to 8 clients a month, not 48, but 4 to 8 clients a month. Fulfill in about 30 minutes, which I believe will be the new standard for how agencies do and should be working. Have happy as F clients. When I say happy as that, I mean like they're getting the good bang for the buck. They're not like raving fans of like, I'm Jeff, I'm sending you this. They're like, yeah, this is good. I'm gonna keep it, I'm gonna renew, because ultimately that's what we want for our business. And operate with what I believe should be normal margins for an agency. I'm in the bucket of, I'll see somebody on stage saying, wow, I made $1 million. And like, man, you paid me $1,000 out for consulting and I know you only make 10%. I don't think that's a business. I think that's a trophy. And when we're talking shop here, it's in the context of providing a service, fairly charging for it, and having money left over to pay yourself. Yes, this is copywritten. You can't use it, you can't distribute it, you can't sell it with our written explicit permission. And if you're not part of the agency Facebook group, you should. We do these lives every Wednesday. We have a great time. The tribe is cool. And my goal is to blow your mind, give you a taste of what's inside the IC, because we talk about it all this time, and realize ultimately your dollars are safe and well spent. We all know sometimes we spent money and then right after you're like, oh, I hate that. I don't want that experience for you. You spent your money wisely. I'm gonna give you actionable, practical, and doable. That should be a term that we talk about, doable advice from somebody, me, who is still doing done for you agency without any fluff. I'm not coaching coaches on how to coach coaches. Like, this is done for you agency for other marketers. And I want to give you enough ton of small manageable things and easy things to do that stack up and give significant improvement to your business. And I want to get at least one person to talk about joining the IC and scaling your company's growth at agencyscalingsecrets.com. Housekeeping stuff, remove all your distractions, phone, browsers, tabs, audio, YouTube, all that fun stuff, anything that's not moving you towards your goals. Close them out, get rid of them. Don't let your brain fail you. This is for agencies, digital marketers, and local businesses looking to build an understanding of how to profitably advertise, get in front of their clients, and get those people to book a call for done for you service that they want to buy and be happy with it. I don't want you on the phone to people like, I'm thinking about it. I want you on the phone with people that are like, I want to buy it, I want to be happy with it. Agency scaling secrets. We're really, really good at our job. This guy did literally, I did 1.15 million last year. I joined the IC in July. I hit 10K in August, and that fella is now doing over $100,000 a month. This guy just walks around Amsterdam and Denmark having a great time, working 15 minutes, making between $6,000 and $10,000 a month. Joshua, Jeff, not me, but different Jeff, they're making F ton of money. Here's some Stripe screenshots for a $5,000 a month client that has been with us for over a year. We're darn good at our job. I think you should join. That's all the self promo. Let's boogie. This is in no particular order, but just as I wrote it, number one, client getting ads. We've all seen and thought that these very unclear biz-oppy, what if you could add 20, 30, 40, $50,000 a month to your business? What if we get you a certain number of appointments, 90 appointments guaranteed, $60,000 a month or your money back, or any of the, like those very biz-oppy, unclear ads? I genuinely believe those are the worst ads to run. They're very, very bad. I've never ever seen a professional company use those ads and be successful. It's just an agency just being an agency, not a company being a company. Those types of ads get very low quality businesses, low quality people, and very suspicious people. If you're on the phone with somebody that's like, I saw your ad, I'm not really sure. Problems with the ad, not with your sales calls. Like the ad should do the filtering, not your appointment setter and not your salesperson. Like I mentioned before, client getting ads that are like, hey, if we added $50,000 a month to your business, Michael says no power offer. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, that type of stuff. I believe that they attract low money and no money people who have big problems and force a lot of effort to the qualification done by appointment setting, sales, and fulfillment. And we all accidentally built this business where like we're trying to take the worst people in the world, give them a great service, and then watch them complain to us, filter at the ad. Like the filtering is at the ad, no ifs, ands, or buts. Instead, you should put your person that's at the top, your product in the middle, and your price at the bottom, and run to a custom audience. I've never had success with lookalikes. I've never had success with like, let's get you a certain number of booked appointments. They're very suspicious, all that stuff. If you migrate your client getting ads to this type of structure, in my experience, your mileage may vary, but it's going to remove a lot of variables. Like what did I sign up for? That's a problem. And the bycatch, which is like if you're advertising to dentists and you get patients on the phone with you, that's a problem. It's impossible to be confused, by the way, when your ad is clear, like the one right there. And you want to have grocery store flyer ads. Again, this is in my personal opinion. This is my experience. Somebody's going to yell at me. I'm wrong. I'm fine with that, man. It's the internet. Everybody's going to be wrong. But I migrated all of my client getting and all my customer film to this structure right here because it's very clear what they're getting and what they're charging. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you're on the phone with somebody from your client getting ads and they're not super interested, the problem's with your ad, not your salesperson-ness. Like you do not want to be spending, Gina Pool's going to laugh, like 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 on a salesperson as a placement because your client getting ad is not pulling in good people. You don't want to do that. Like Apple doesn't say, hey, we're going to have super highly paid Apple Store geniuses. No, man, it's retail. They're lowly paid. The product and the price and that type of stuff brings in people that want to buy. They're just order takering. You want to have that same experience inside of your agency. I found that when I'm doing this type of stuff and I'm spending $30 a day, I give myself a week. If nobody responds, the problem is with the what you do, that's your product, your price. The answer is never something more complicated. I was chatting with a guy yesterday that was like, Jeff, why don't you run any copy? Because copy is complicated, man. Like you've got your Y-O-U-R and Y-O-U-R apostrophe E, and I don't know the difference. It's all the same. And you there, and there's 10 different ways to run a comma. It's just exhausting. And there's a lot of misinterpretations. And if you understand how copy is supposed to work, you're supposed to be in a trance, and magically somehow you spent money with somebody, and then you have regret. And that's what copy is supposed to do. And I've never had better success with copy. Again, if simple didn't work, you didn't make simple work. So if nobody responds, your client getting ads in about a week at $30 a day, the problem is with what you're doing, which is your product. So that's the unlimited travel, whatever, your price. And the answer is never in doing something more complicated like copy, like let's test traffic versus conversions or dynamic versus static. No, man, that's 100% incorrect. The solutions, if you're running a successful ad and then it breaks and then all of a sudden stops working again, not broken to good, but good to broken, magically something broke, quick duplicate the sucker and then your ad will start working again. Their entire systems and ways of working. And sometimes at the time with our client getting, customer getting, we just quick duplicate, turn off the old one, turn on the new one. We change the Facebook tech. So like we'll change the radius or we'll change the age. But I'm telling you guys, 99% of the time it's the ad. Like if our client getting ads don't work, it's because of the ad. No other ifs, ands, or buts. If you don't know the product, like a thing where it says get unlimited travel nurse, healthcare, life insurance, life transfers, you will burn your dollars. And some people like doing that. I don't know, man, I'm super conservative with my dollars. I don't like just spraying money and wasting it. I've never found success in that. You're gonna have to do some Googling, have to do some research, and ultimately figure out what your clients want. It's really not that hard once you get into the world. And here's a good test. You go on YouTube and your YouTube feed is about your clients, you're doing right. If your YouTube feed is about Hearthstone, you're doing it wrong. So figure it out, go to not interested, and just keep going until you get it right. If you don't know what to put in the ad, again, Google more. As of right now, we're getting 1 to 2 signed and paid clients directly from online advertising. It costs us on average $300 to get a $3,000 contract. That's $750 a month times 4. And even, by the way, $1,500 a month clients that are upgrading to $5,000 a month services. Some people say, but Jeff, what's the difference between the $750 and the $5,000? Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's more. Sometimes it's, hey, you want us to add other stuff like a new campaign or another campaign. Hey, we're doing TikTok. You want to test that stuff? Great, here's an invoice. Hey, we're gonna do more qualification. We're gonna type it directly into calendar. You can do more and just charge more. It's really not that big of a deal. People who have a lot of huff and puff around this usually don't have a long history of advertising successfully online or having positive client relationships that they freak out. Don't worry about it, man. Just start getting clients, no big deal. Again, the person, that's who you're targeting, the product, what you're helping them sell, and the price. What are you charging for the service? People mess this up. Person, product, price. Who you're targeting, what you're helping them sell, and what you're charging for the service. Again, put your price out in front. It's so much easier just to be like, yeah, I charge for my services. Everybody goes, great. Me too. What else do you want to talk about? It's just so much easier that way. Again, this format continues, in my experience, to outperform in terms of cost per sale or cost per acquisition, whatever you want to call it, cost per qualified booked appointment. And by that, I don't mean bycatch. So again, I don't mean I'm an agency advertising for dentists and I get a patient on the phone. That doesn't count. I mean a qualified booked appointment, like their target client, not in cost per lead or cost per click. These ads are the worst cost per click and cost per lead ever, and the best cost per sale and cost per qualified booked appointment. That's why I dislike media buying. They optimize for the wrong thing. Again, right here, person, product, price. If there's any questions about this, try to keep it tight. I'm going to pick 2 or 3 questions and then we'll move on to the next thing, because that's how I learn concept and then back and forth, stuff like that. So you have questions about what client getting ads look like, you can ask them right here. Again, this is in my experience. Somebody's going to Alex Hermosi me and I'm like, dude, I don't know. He's richer than me. Go listen to him if you want. It's okay. So again, client getting ads, person, product, price, nothing else. Any questions? I'll close it down and move on to the next one in about 5 seconds, unless we have a question. Jack says lead form or to landing page. Great question. I have disavowed completely landing pages, VSLs, 5-minute, watch this before you book a call, and then a thank you page video, please be in a quiet room. Nope, if they're on that custom list, they are the target client, they've signed up, they know it costs money. They're great. Let's talk immediately, go straight to account lead, which we'll go over in a bit. Never had success as good as the landing page. Chris says, so $300 to get 750 clients. That is correct. That's in my experience. I'm sure I could increase my fee if I want, but man, we're having friendly 20-minute conversations. They're like, all right, send the invoice. I'm like, no, give me your credit card and everything is cool. I pitched in the back of a test and the guy signed up. It's great. Ed says, do you get to see landing page examples? No, you don't, because I don't use landing pages. I only do lead forms. And I think I can show you a lead form, maybe something like this, but all lead forms look the same. Like it's just the questions, like name, number, and email plus 2 or 3 others. That's it. Client getting ads. Here's our KPIs. This is for May, not for June, but for May. We're paying $30 to $45 a lead, and sometimes a week-long period of no leads or only 1 lead. So it ends up being $90, $120 per lead. So again, $30 a day, we're getting 1 or 2 leads once or twice a day, and then it'll flatline for a bit and go back up. It's like that. That's how it is. Welcome to life, okay? I do not freak out at all whatsoever. I'll watch it. I'll go like, okay, maybe I should make a change, but honestly, it's totally fine. Cost per 1,000 CPM, 40, $50. Cost per link click, $8 to $10. CTR link click, which is a thing, less than 0.5%. And again, all to a custom list. I've never had success with lookalikes. Again, this is agency to agency, business to business. Only want to talk to people that want to pay me money type of thing. We're optimizing for qualified booked appointments and or sales, not optimizing for leads or optimizing for clicks. That's it. Albert says $750 for the services. Yes, they pay ad spend separate. And here's the reach, which is like always wrong, but it's fine. Again, if they're on that custom list, they're on that custom list or custom audience, they are a target client and customer. I've never had success with lookalikes. Someone says, can you explain more on the custom list? Go find a custom list. You can pay a lead broker, go on Fiverr, go on D7, look up B2B list, find it, upload it to Facebook. Facebook will say, hold on, spend a little money before you do it, or hold on, wait 2 weeks, fine, you can figure it out. And I've never had the success you expect with retargeting, saying, hey, you clicked it, but forgot to schedule a call. If they didn't schedule a call, don't remind them. Let them see the normal ad again. So yeah, I looked at the retargeting. It's okay. You can do it for like tough pieces where like, look how great I am, but it's never really moved the needle. If somebody sees they want to buy it, it's like groceries. Yeah, I'll go today. That's all I want. Here's our sales process. Add to lead form. Lead form is name, number, and email, and then 2 or 3 other questions. You can figure them out. And then it's straight to Calendly. So that little blue button, just like that, Calendly. I do not recommend landing page, VSL, pre-post booking sequences, or thank you page videos with instructions or anything like that. That's just too much data, too many variables, too many ifs, ands, or buts. They scheduled, I don't want to give them a reason, be like, Jeff told me that I can't take the phone call in the car, I'm not gonna show up. I don't care where you're, man. Take the phone call in the airport. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna sell you right there. Like that's what you want. And Amazon does that. They're like, you order wherever you want. I don't care. So it should be the same philosophy for you as well. And I tell them like, yeah, it's fine, man. Call me on your way back. No big deal. Again, you should not need to filter anything, if your custom audience is an ad or on point, again, a custom audience, and then show them an ad, and then, oh, you're the person, the product, and the price point. Great, let's talk. Lowest friction as possible. If you do a landing page or a VSL or all that stuff, I know it works great, fine, perfect. Everybody's going to argue with me. But when I did it, there was too much data. I did look at a heat map and then track the time when they're watching the VSL and then cut it. And then I started self-talking about why it would work and not, and it got between me and my customers. Sure, they worked, but they never worked for me. We tried a GHL Calendly, GHL versus Calendly. Calendly worked better, so I stopped caring and just made the decision. And some people ask me what questions should be on the Facebook lead form. I go, come on, man, you know that. Like, you can figure it out. Just ask 2 or 3 extra questions. Name, number, and email, and 2 or 3 other ones. Not that they have to be meaningful, but it's more like to give that person a pause to remember that they filled out the form. So these questions could be, what's your business's zip code? How many X's have you sold? So how many products have you sold in the past year? And do you have XYZ machine? I don't know, you can figure it out. So any questions on client getting ads or sales processes or something like that? We're gonna go into more detail, but try to keep it specific to this. Abby says, when you say custom list, are you using a scrape list you've created and uploaded to Facebook? That is correct. You can do it yourself, or you can pay someone who's already done it. I buy a new custom list for about $100 every month. So my custom list targeting is like all the way down. You're supposed to add it. I didn't. I just kept adding a new list instead of adding it to a master list. And so, like, even with like, I think it's a total of 100,000 contacts, I still only have a reach of like 260. I don't care. It's totally fine. Tony says, did you say that Calendly worked better than GHL? That is correct. I don't know why, but I ran a test for like a month. I did GHL in 1 month and then Calendly on the other month. And then Calendly worked better. So I just made the decision. I believe they're all the same, but it's totally fine. Kyle says, if you target nationwide, that is correct. Michael asked a good question, says, up to this point, the only qualifying you're doing is the ad. That is correct. If they're on the custom list and they see the ad, which has the price point, let's talk. Nothing else. Nothing else. Ed says, what's your booking rate when you're doing it like that? I would estimate 50%, maybe 80%. Albert says, for the custom list, do you make sure that it comes with the mobile numbers? That would be nice. But again, just keep buying another custom audience for $100 and add to it. We're gonna move on to the next thing. Texting from your phone. I have 0 automations for my client getting ads, 0. I'll say it again, I have 0 automations. There's Calendly reminders. You can email and the text and that's it. I text them from my phone. You should be doing that more often. It's a guaranteed gonna land. If you text through GHL or Twilio, there's a chance that it won't. We'll talk about it in a bit. But I text them, hey, did you sign up about blank? Did you sign up about unlimited travel nurse health insurance live transfers for $750 a month? Yes. Great. I'll see you tonight at 2 o'clock or whatever time it is. Or, hey, it's Jeff. Did you sign up for unlimited live transfers or blah, blah, blah? Got it. I'll send you a schedule link now. Make sure you take care of that. We'll talk later today. That's a whole automation. It's just text messaging. That's it. That's all I have to do. Text them from your cell phone, and your mileage may vary with the script. You can figure it out, but I found making sure that they remember it costs money is probably a good thing. I don't want them to forget that my services cost money, because that's a whole conversation that you'd have to have. And by the way, I've never, ever in the history of my experience, ever lost a deal because I texted them the same day versus texting them 7.5 minutes and 962 times in 3.2 seconds, or whatever that statistic is from Grant Cardone. You know, I got to call them 85 times in 3 minutes, man. No done for you client is happy about that ever. Like, I've been on the receiving end of that with traffic and funnels. I'm like, dude, stop. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, you're literally pushing people away because you don't let me breathe, and I've got a business, and so do my clients. So I'll just text them once. If they don't respond, next day, hey, did you get the above message? That's it. Like, don't make it hard, guys. Really don't. Any questions about texting from your phone? Kyle says on Calendly, do you allow them to schedule an appointment 2 or 3 days out? That is correct. 2 or 3 days out. I tested by saying like 14 days, 21 days, and people did schedule that far. And I'm like, I don't want to wait that far to get an ROI. So 2 or 3 days is fine. Those people will still buy, but it's just whatever. If for whatever reason they don't see a Calendly, we can manually text and all that stuff. Again, if they're going to buy, they're on the list and they see the audience, or they're on the list and they see the ad, they're going to buy. And they'll just run an Calendly. It won't be an option. And I'll text them later on. That's it. Abby says, where do you buy a list? Fiverr. I don't know. So it's almost all Fiverr. Every once in a while, there's a guy in the public group that has a good list, but Don't make it a big deal, just start buying lists. Like the quality of your agency really doesn't depend that much on whether your list is 80% versus 100%. Tim says, what is YMMV? Your mileage may vary. So it works for me and may work for you. First call. So up to this point, this target client is on my custom list that I bought. They saw the ad, which has my price point. We confirmed they're a real person by text message. He scheduled a time. I call him. Oh my God, Jeff, what happened? I don't know. Like I texted them and they didn't respond. Oh, it's probably an office number. Why don't you call them? What? Yeah, just call them. That's it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Because sometimes they do the office fine. Call them. Hey, this is Jeff with Cool Beans Digital. I think you filled out a form about unlimited live transfers. Yeah, this is not a solicitation. He literally filled out a form. He scheduled time. We have his phone number. We have his email. You ask him. Yeah, he should know me. Okay, great, fine, perfect. And you're on the phone with them. Call them, give them the lay of the land, and then a yay or nay on a second call. What is the lay of the land? Hey, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, pleasure to meet you. The way these calls work, gonna be about 10, 15 minutes. You're gonna talk for a bit. I'm gonna talk for a bit. We're gonna talk pricing. We know if we want to take a next step. All right, cool. That's all I have to do. This whole thing should take 10 to 15 minutes. And you give them a high level overview of the 4 to 6 steps of what you do. So how you get the intended result, your price, and again, expected results. If you can't explain it, man, it's on you, okay? Like rocket scientists can do a YouTube video for 3-year-olds. You can figure out how to communicate your marketing, all right? Your internals are really not that complicated. If they are, you're gonna have to do better. Again, the way we normally do these calls is you tell me about your shop, how much you charge, how many you sell at average business quarter. I'll tell you how my program works, how much it costs, expected results. Then we know we want to do a second call on Zoom in less than 15 minutes. And everybody agrees with that. It's totally fine. I've had clients say, okay, I'm walking around right now. Can I call you back later? It's like, I'm gonna call you on your commute home. When are you driving? Oh, 6:30, I'll call you then. Great. They're in the car, they can't get away. They're literally in the car. There's no distractions. If you get an objection, you should consider changing your steps. So some objections that we got when we were going to market and doing live transfers was like, yo, we've tried other agencies and the leads are bad. You're right, Mr. Johnson. So what we do is the third step of our program. We get the leads on the phone and we ask them their credit score and 5 other qualifying questions. Jeff, we tried other agencies, but the leads don't pick up the phone. You're right. We call them, get them on the phone, then live transfer them to you. So every time you get an objection, adjust your steps. What does mine look like? Hey, Mr. Johnson, lay of the land. Here's how we do and what we do. Number 1, we create a separate blah, which we're talking about for a bit. We do the qualification, we get them on the phone, and we do a live transfer. That's the delivery of our service. They go, okay, cool. No integrations, no coaching, no CRM. That's all internal. You just pick up the phone. Easy. I really do not recommend a deep, long psychological series of slides or sales decks or one-call closing, the objection handling. You're exchanging emotions and you have to like pump yourself up like this. Don't do it, man. It's bad for you. It's short-term. You're gonna burn out. It should just be an authentic 2 people calling type phone call. Oh, what do you do? Oh, this is what I do. Oh, you charge your services. That's it. Again, you can do that because they're on a custom audience. They saw the ad and they scheduled. That's the filtering at the ad level. That's all I have to do. If you are not doing any filtering and you're doing BizOppy ads, you have to do this deep psychological stuff, which is emotionally scarring for you and them. So any questions about the first call, which is qualification? Somebody says, do you tell them the number of live leads they get for the 750 month? I say, that's a good question, Sean. This is what happens. They say, we do the lay of the land, and I say, all right, these are the type of results you can expect. We charge $750 a month, and we manage your $30 a day budget. Stereotypically, what we've seen is after everything is said and done, 7 out of 10 of these leads are trash. Either they're not real or they're not qualified. 2 out of the 3 are good enough for me to pass them forward to you live transfer, either in terms of credit score, intention to buy, down payment ready to go, something like that. We call them Jeff qualified leads or marketing qualified leads. And then out of those 2 to 3, one of them turns into an honest, dollar-driven conversation where they're going to buy, but ultimately it's up to you to sell them. Like you still got to do your job, but you're just getting more phone calls. And that's $750 a month for our service to do all that stuff, managing the Facebook qualification, and we use your $30 a day budget. And that's how we handle it. Some people say, what if I want more? Great, we'll charge you more. That's it, up the budget. That's all you have to do. Kyle says, sorry, going back to lead form, do you use high volume or do you use volume or high intent? Do not use volume, just use high intent. You'll be happier. You'll be much more honest in terms of numbers. Sean says, do you tell them it's a 4-month contract at this point? That is correct. And Chris says, oh, it's a 4-month. I thought you meant 4 clients at $750 a month each. No, it's a $750 a month client for 4-month minimum. That's how we do it. So again, at this point, They're on a custom audience. They've seen the ad. Here's the KPIs, sales process. We text them, we're talking to a real person, first call qualification. Out of all the clients that I've sold to, and I'm in the dentistry space, specifically implants and all-in-fours, I probably had 2 out of 10 on average, dentists just be like, nope, this isn't for me, and end the discussion. Great, thank you very much. On to the next one. And I didn't have to waste an hour and a half pitching. 10, 15 minutes, that's it. Second call. How do you make the transition? Number one, you say, well, Mr. Johnson, if you're comfortable, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a second call. You'll see my face, you'll see my screen. I'll pop the hood on the car, show you how it works, and make the ad. And if everything is kosher, we'll exchange dollars and services, sign an agreement, and your campaign will go live the next day. Cool. Just like Amazon, we're gonna ship it, that's it. Try to schedule the second call ASAP. Every once in a while, some dentists like, do you wanna do it now? And I always say no, because I'm crabby, and we usually schedule the next day or the day after. And I've had like a 90% show rate on that. No automations, just, okay, schedule then, that's it. Again, Calendly, you can just drag it or reschedule, turn on the automatic reminders, that's all you have to do. The second call, Zoom with a Google Doc. No slide decks, no fancy things, just 2 people talking, that's it. Richard says, do you tell me you're crabby? I often do. I go, look, man, I sit at the internet all day. All right, I've got little squares all over my screen. John says, do you charge 3K up front? Nope, we do not, but we've never had a problem with a client saying, this is the worst thing in the world, I want to cancel immediately. It's like, all right, well, we'll figure it out. We still got 3 months together. But again, so second Zoom call, this Google Doc looks kind of like this. I pitch anytime, any place, anywhere. This is in the back of a Tesla in a parking lot. Easy. Ask 4 to 5 onboarding questions. Like, all right, Mr. Johnson, just want to confirm, this is your website, this is your address, this is your phone number. If we live transfer this, will people pick up? Is there a specific person or is it a group of people? All right, what's their names? Thank you very much, cool. And this is your hours, right? Okay, and you said you don't work Wednesdays, but do you have a phone person that works Wednesdays? Okay, so if we call on Wednesdays, is that all right? Cool, thanks so much. Typing everything down. I said, all right, and are you looking for X product, like unlimited health insurance live transfers? Or are you looking for Y product? Because we do both. Which one's the best fit for you? Oh, I want this one. Okay, cool. We'll do both if you want, but I'm just saying. Oh, okay, cool. Right. So let's do the first one. And how much do you charge? I'm going to type it out right fast. So I literally have a Google Doc. I'm just asking them questions. It says, how much do you charge? That's it. And here's what happens. When I say, what do you charge? Everybody says too much. And I say, hold on. I'm talking cash. All right. If somebody comes with a briefcase full of money, lays it on your desk, how much is that to buy your stuff? Ah, so it's not $3 grand, it's really 2,500. You take 25, okay, can we do 24.99? Cool, awesome. And do you do financing in-house, anything like that? Oh, you do, okay. And the last time you did financing, what was like that monthly payment? Oh, it was 129. Okay, so we're gonna run now. This is blank cash and this for 129. Does that work? And honestly, Mr. Johnson, look, these are the ads we're running for other clients. I'm gonna open up Canva, make it right now. The ad that got you is the ad we're gonna run for you. They go, wow, just like that. That's all I have to do. You want to aim for authentically practical, not inauthentically professional. This is what everyone is doing, I believe, when they try to put on a suit during a sales call. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just want to buy the thing. I don't think anybody at Amazon wears a suit and they do like $1 trillion a second. All right. It should be product focused, not sales focused. This is what we do and this is how we do it. They're buying your product, not the transformation. I don't believe we should be selling transformations anymore. That's the #1 cause of unhappiness. This is the steps we're going through, very story brand script, Donald Miller type stuff. And you should be signing, getting paid on 80% of these calls within 3 days. Or I should say sign and call. 80% within 3 days. You're always gonna have 2 out of 10 are like, I got delayed, blah, blah, blah. But 8 out of 10 times, they should be signing and paying either on the call or within 72 hours. And I literally say, here's what the ad will look like. Here are the questions we're gonna do to qualify these people for you. And here's how we deliver your leads. If you can pick up the phone and it says, hey, this is Jeff with Cool Beans Digital. We've got a prospective blank customer on the line. Can we connect you? That's us. And they cool. They say, cool. You don't want to have this be a pump myself up moment. You want to have slow, steady, step-by-step walkthrough of how the sausage is made. Just like that. And very often I'll pop open our CRM, which is on GHL. I'll be like, this is what's going on. This is how we ask questions and all that. And then I say, look, Mr. Johnson, if your price points are kosher, you're comfortable with us doing this, and everything seems to make a lot of sense. Here's the paperwork. And I alt tab and I show them the paperwork. And I said, look, you're going to read through it on my screen and I'm going to send it your way for a signature and a credit card. Does that work for you? Got it. And if you pay this right now, I'm going to have the onboarding docs sent to you tonight or tomorrow morning, depending upon the time. So your campaign will literally be ready to go live within blank hours. They go, really? I go, yeah. And what's funny is after like somebody has decided to purchase, there's almost no stopping them. So you can step out of character like I did here. I said, cool, so you're gonna buy it? He goes, yeah, all right. I'm gonna send you the signature and all that. You're gonna pay with a credit card? Yeah, all right, cool. So let me ask you this. What'd you think of this little sales pitch? He's like, it was entirely different than what everybody else does. I go, is that a good thing? He goes, yeah, perfect. And that was this fella right here. He owns 2 locations. Once I pitched at like 10 o'clock at night, because that was the only time that available. I said, yeah, man, whenever you want your customer, let's go. He said, cool, can I call in 2 hours? You got it. So just sitting there watching Peaky Blinders. Then he calls me and I put the show on mute. I go, let me call you back in 30 seconds, get everything ready. And we're doing a Zoom call. And it's so dark. The only reflection you have is from my screen on Flux. That's why it looks red. Again, it's a Google Doc. And most salespeople are like, there's no way I'm gonna do this. I didn't do my pre-call ritual. Nobody cares. Don't have to do it. Again, signing call is really not that hard. You're only talking to people that are interested in wanting to buy. The default is they're gonna buy. 80% of people buy on this because they've already gone through everything. So at this point, custom audience, ad, Calendly, text, first call, second call, they're gonna buy. Very, very simple. We've had some people say like, but what about the guaranteed results? I said, Mr. Johnson, there's no guarantee. This is marketing. And it's based upon your product and your price point. If you want more results, you should lower your prices. Yep, that's how that works. You gotta be competitive. You gotta have an advertisable price, that briefcase of money. And I tell you what, if it doesn't work in 2 weeks, you're definitely gonna be getting a phone call from me saying you need to lower your price. They're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, just like that. Any questions on this second call right here, the signing call? Somebody says, are we gonna get this awesome Google Doc? Yes, that's the only time I'm gonna answer that question. Jerem says, no guaranteed results, no guarantee, no risk reversal, no ROI. I believe that they are not good. Amazon isn't like, hey man, we're gonna send you the stuff and for whatever reason you hate it, you let us know and we'll refund you. They do it, but they don't like lead out in front with it. They go, here's your stuff, stop complaining. But I wanna talk to the manager, all right, fine, we're just gonna refund you, but come on. And by the way, if you do that too often on Amazon, they ban you. So just as a heads up. Angel says, what program do you use for live transfer? Use GHL. And Tim says, what type of client products or services does this work for or not work for? If you're a business that wants more phone calls, this is how you get more phone calls that are quality from Facebook. I think every business wants more phone calls. So that's it. Kyle says, so you mean you don't guarantee 45 new clients or refund them and pay them $1,000 within time? That is correct. That is 100% correct. Do not do that. Again, from my experience, don't do it. You're gonna be muddling the customer feedback and instead you're gonna get a sale and your coach is gonna screenshot that as a testimonial and you're gonna get a refund notice in 30 days. You want product feedback, you want price feedback. That's not how your clients are selling. That's not how you should be selling. Like, hey, here's the thing, do you wanna buy it? And if they say no, you can adjust your product to your price point, not muddle the radar or muddle the water with a refund and stuff like that. Eric says, is this just for live transfers or what else? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Tony says you can get a custom list done. That is correct. Where do you get your phone team? We'll talk about that in a bit. And Tony says, we're on the hook for the result. Yeah, that's an option, but I just say there's no guarantee. It literally says that in the paperwork, by the way, right here. You, the client, are not entitled to a refund and chargeback regardless of results, just like that. So we'll talk about proposal in a second. For people asking about who to hire on calls, I found good people on Fiverr in the past. Just post if you're listing on Fiverr. Yeah, it's an option. There's the public group, there's Fiverr, there's a million and a half ways. It's just a phone job. That's it. Proposal. 5 to 10 lines clearly outlines what you do, what they do. We run the ads, qualifying live transfer. You, Mr. Johnson, got to pick up the phone, follow best practices, honor the price in the ad. No refunds, no guarantees, 4 months. I use DocuSign because they got a cool little extension, like over here, that little arrow. I can click it and it sends it. It's fine. And again, I say, if everything is kosher, we'll review the paperwork now, exchange dollars, and get your campaign up and running for approval tomorrow. 1 out of 10 will be like, Jeff, why not month to month? If I love it, I'll do month to month. I go, oh my God. Dr. K, is that the only reason you're not coming on board right now? He goes, yes. I go, fine, I'll retype it. And then I say month to month. But this is what it looks like. Jeff will, and then blah, 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 blah. You must pick up the phone. You cannot use our stuff. You must have best practices, including honoring the price in the ad. A lot of people mess this up. You're allowed to put your campaign on pause for 2 weeks or any 12-month period because maybe they're hiring somebody or something. You, the client, are not entitled to a refund or a chargeback. You'll pay Facebook directly for the ad spend. There you go, sign. And then they always forget to click that. So I just sometimes manually send them the Stripe thing by text message, and that's it. That's the proposal. Again, it's not like a 10-page thing. It's just literally, they already bought, they bought on the ad, and now they're looking for reasons to not buy. Tim says the sound keeps breaking up. I think it might just be you. How do you work your pricing tiers? I don't. I say it's $750 a month. And then if they want to add more stuff, which always happens after the fact, they can buy another campaign. Do you provide the staff training or script? Yes, we call it onboarding doc. We'll go over that in a bit. Are you sending pre-qualified leads with the staff to screen them up? Yes. How do you handle it? We'll talk about that in a bit. Are you doing through their ad accounts? No, I create a new one. All I want, just like Amazon, is a credit card. Just give me your numbers. That's it. I'll set up everything else. So I go inside of my own business manager, set up an ad account. I give it their name. And like when a client leaves or whatever, I go, all right, fine. So I go into the ad account. I say pay balance. Payment goes through. I wait 10 minutes, remove their credit card, and use the ad account for somebody else. Jeremy says ad spend separate. That is correct. So pricing your services. Here's where everybody makes a good old-fashioned marketing mistake. You do not charge based upon what you're worth. Please stop doing that. You do not charge based upon the value. Please stop doing that. There's a really cool internet thread or internet image of like, if value crosses price, a sale is made. I go, no, it's not at all. That's never the case. Like a Lamborghini is worth 200,000. I'm still not buying it. There's nothing to do with it. It's just marketers talking to marketers about how to market better to marketers. 100% incorrect. You charge based upon how fast people buy. About how fast people buy. This was $297, guys. Do you see how many people in this room? Imagine if I was like, it's going to be $75,000 because it's worth it. Nobody's going to buy that stuff. You charge based on how fast people buy, not what it's worth or the value, and then argue about it. If somebody says, well, the value is there, you've lost the sale. Don't do it. If somebody says, yeah, there you go. When in doubt, remove parts of your agency and reduce price and aim for return on ad spend. That's where you make money. And I remember my operations professor at University of Chicago was like, there's two types of businesses, the ones that have volume and the ones that struggle. It's like, damn, that's right. Like, yeah, the iPhone, you could charge 10 grand. I'm sure they make sales, but they would have no volume. It's the same with your agency. When in doubt, remove stuff, do less and charge less. And all of a sudden you'll have massive volume. We got a guy inside the IC, Salvador. He's advertising, he's following what we do. I think he's like, he's gonna hate me if I say this. He looks like he's 17. I think he's like 22, but anybody under the age of 35 is a kid to me. He landed a 20 location deal. A 20 location deal that should be 100 locations over the next 6 months. He charges $350 a month. I'm okay with being that young, making $35,000 a month. Shouldn't you be too? So it's that type of stuff. Again, you want to be Publix. Publix says $4 billion in sales a month, something like that. Their grocery store. Publix says, hey, the tomatoes aren't selling. We'll reduce the price. Hey, we're running out of tomatoes. Let's increase the price. That's as simple as pricing should be. You charge based on how fast people are signing, not based upon the value of the program. And this is, of course, assuming that your product matches your client's needs and wants, and you're not completely bad at your job. I'm talking like 80% people. I'm sure there's somebody that's like a bottom 10%, which is like, Jeff, I'm absolutely horrible at everything. And I lowered my price to $4 and they're still not buying. I was like, well, that's on you. Okay, like, come on. Again, if you're not selling to someone who saw the ad, saw the price, if you're not selling that, the problem's with you or the program. Like, they already know it costs money, man. They signed up, they're interested, and you messed it up. So you got to figure it out. Here's what I've seen. When we went to market, we were charging $1,800 for the same service. It took about 6 weeks to get the stuff up and running between somebody scheduling a call, me pitching them, and then them paying the invoice. It took 6 weeks. At 1,000, it took 2 weeks. At 750, it's 2 to 3 days, which means my return on ad spend from 350 into consistent 750s is 72 hours. Like, that's awesome. Versus having to spend 30 bucks a day and then hopefully in 6 weeks to get $1,800. Like, most people don't run their ads that long, much less now you have to follow up and all that. 750 takes 2 or 3 days. Figure out what works for you. I've had some people that do the training like this and like, Jeff, I charge 750 and nobody's signing up my stuff. I'm like, well, maybe your market needs a different price point. Figure it out. Be a good agency. This is Powell. He's in Poland. He's charging between the $799 and $900 a month mark. And this is specifically for plastic surgeons for breast implant surgery. It's an easy in the door price point. Like, oh, 900 bucks a month, do you think? Okay, fine. He signed 2 locations, 900 bucks a month, 2 locations, 2 months for 4 locations. So his $30 a day ad spend turned into $7,200. Great. That's how it's supposed to be. Not having this like constant back and forth and trying to like be objection handling. Just get a quick ROI. Everybody's happy. Any questions about this, how to price your services or the proposal? Again, any questions about how to price your service or the proposal? Somebody says, Eric says, if they just want to increase lead volume, how do you charge? I say it's unlimited for $750. And no dentists have been like, hey, can we spend 300 bucks a day? I don't do that. And honestly, if some dentist was like, hey, it's 300 bucks a day, I was like, okay, but look, man, you really got to swing another chunk of change at us because like your lead volume is going to be through the roof. So either we increase the price in the ad to lower volume, or you give us an extra 500 bucks so I can hire another operator and make sure you're getting the proper SLA. And goes, okay. In fact, we have a 3-location deal in the works, signed, waiting on the ACH. It's got 3 locations that we signed up with. He actually has 12 locations. Like, Jeff, if we do the dollars, you're gonna have to charge us more. I go, that's right. So it's really not that big of a deal. So like, Eric, I understand the purpose of your question, but deeper is like, just get your clients results and they'll spend a lot more money with you. That's it. Somebody says, how are you choosing the niche that you focus on, Abe? Whatever you think is best. Like niching or picking out your product is beyond what we can talk about here. There's a guides section in the public group on how to nailing your niche is incorrect, or picking a niche is incorrect, something like that. Walk through that, it'll figure it out for you or with you. Kevin says, how does the conversation process go for collecting credit card info? Yeah, it's very simple. If you feel like this is a lot, it's because your clients don't trust you, you don't trust your clients. This is how it goes. Hey, Mr. Johnson, I'm gonna send you the Stripe invoice. Pay that on the call. And then later today, I'm gonna ask you to send me your credit card again so I can put it directly into Facebook. Okay, well, if you want, I can just take your credit card now and I just type it in, and then I can just keep that on file and then type it into Facebook later. Which one do you want? Okay, cool. That's the whole conversation. And I've had so many people text message me that credit card is no big deal. It's really not. So you don't have to worry about it. Jerem says, no Kurt Maley approach. I do not know Kurt Maley. Jeff says, should we base our monthly somehow after the product we are telling them to get? That is correct. That is the right line of thinking. So with our line of business, implants are 3K, that's on average. And then all in fours are like 15 to 20K. So they're like, unlimited chances to make 15, 20,000 for 750 a month, let's go. So like there's this huge difference that makes it very easy, yes. So if Botox is like $7 a vial, and you're like, hey, for 12 grand a month, we'll get unlimited Botox. Like no dentist is gonna be like, that's a good deal. So yeah, you have to be cognizant of the dollars that they will be making as a function of your agency and price appropriately. And that's why I'm like, look, 750 works for me because I do a specific type of business. Health insurance is going to be different. You'll have to figure out your own dollars, stuff like that. Richard says no golden belt. Don't know what that means, but Rose says, so you use your own business manager, create a new ad account, use your client CC. That is correct. Says, do you use their Facebook page? We'll be talking about that in a bit. What's your retention rate? Awesome, I think. I don't know. We had 2 clients cancel today, but we just signed that 3 location. It could be 12. So I don't know. Again, Kurt Maley, also don't understand it. Kurt does the belt method, uses all Facebook ad types, all different stages. Sounds like it's complications to me. And it could possibly totally work. I'm basing my business on throughput and having a lot of clients than I am about complexity. So no shade, it's just mileage. I'm just speaking from my point of view. Angela says, does 750 include a GHL account? No, it does not, because they don't get access to GHL, which is what we're gonna talk about right now. Great segue. Here's a standard way of fulfillment for everybody. This is what most people are doing. I call this like the old way of working. You want to talk marketing words? Standard way of working is client pays you, request access to their Facebook page, ad account, pixel, wait 3 or 4 days for them to accept and mess it up. Then you have to build their ads and you have to back and forth. You're pretty much married now. Have a conversation about how it looks, reflects their brand. Then you have to build their landing pages. You have to make all the emails. You have to set up conversion events. That's a thing now. By the way, you only get 8. I don't even know what that means. Never works the first time. Get access to the email responder or set up a new one, which is a whole thing. And you have to set up a new account. Then you have to create emails, and it's like, oh my God, like, no, man, like, just give me my stuff. And no client enjoys this. No agency enjoys this at all. And when I was looking to build a new version of my agency, I said, what the hell can I possibly remove to make this FAF, fast as F? Even, by the way, if you're using an all-in-one tool like a CRM like GHL, you get to watch them. Like, let's say you're giving them a GHL account, you get to watch them mess it up. Hey, Mr. Johnson, did you call back the lead? No, because I can see that you didn't. Could you go log in CRM? Oh, you're going to get it to the end of the day. Thanks. Like, come on. Like, you're asking to mess it up. And you have to manage 10 accounts, because if the lead is dead and if they mess it up, they're like, we're paying you. They're like, so? And you're like, but you should have known it. Oh my God. And everybody says this whole process here, it takes 10 days, but you and I both know it's going to crash and burn. And then they're going to argue with you saying you're not the expert that you thought. And then it really takes not 3 days, but 1 or 2 weeks to go from paid to Facebook processing. That's the window. From when I pay to processing in Amazon, it's paid to shipping. That's what they look like, 2 days, all right? And internally, it's like 4 hours. That's what they want, because they still got to ship it. And there's about 15 to 20 steps that are going to go wrong. Sucks. So you get clients, you hire a project manager or a highly skilled virtual assistant to manage everything, argue about whether Asana is better than ClickUp, and watch it all break when one small thing changes. And as you get clients, you actually lose time. You don't want that. Like, that's bad. Here's a new way of fulfillment. 30 minutes copy and paste, zero level thinking. It's the same thing with everybody. The goal is you should only ask for the credit card, nothing else. Again, just ship it. Inner Circle standards. We're now on FAF, fast as F. Richard said, what's the last F? It rhymes with duck, okay? Fast as duck fulfillment, okay? Like, I want this print and shipped in 30 minutes. One CRM, all right, one CRM for everybody. No, I'm not gonna show you because all my clients' info is on there. One CRM, one pipeline. So all of our clients are all in the same pipeline. One Facebook page. All of our clients' ads run through the same Facebook page. One ad, maybe two, if you want to argue. One qualification script that all of our operators use. One way of working, and everything under our house, under our brand. That's it. Nothing else. You don't get to have access to the internals of an Amazon warehouse, but you're doing that as a business. Nor does Amazon train you on how to run a warehouse, nor do I train my clients on how to run a CRM, but you do. You think it's like valuable. It's not. Nobody wants to do that stuff. And I know you're going to argue with me. That's okay, man. It's the internet. Everybody's going to argue with everybody. Our clients get to fill in the blank with your pricing offer that we make on the second call. Like, here's the ad. How much you charge? We're going to type that in. Look, we made the ad. That's it. I set up a new ad account for them with their credit card, use the same Facebook page for everybody, and create a copy and paste lead form. So you go to lead form, click duplicate, name it, change a couple things like, you know, great bike shop deals in Miami versus great bike shop deals in Tallahassee. That's pretty much it. And then you integrate with your CRM. So you have to do the Facebook integration, map the form, and then you set up a trigger and you tag that lead form. So like any leads come in, add a tag. It says like Dr. Miller or Dr. Rodriguez, and it goes in your pipeline. So you can see right here, like you can see the client name tag. That's what we call them, client name tag. So like it's all the same CRM for everybody. And that's how I know the lead is assigned to a specific client, just like that. Again, 30 minutes to go from paid to processing. Anything beyond that is too complex, too many things going on, and it's a horrible time, and you're not going to enjoy it. You're going to lose time as you get clients. I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is people have a lot of questions about fulfillment. So we have the old way of working, and FAF, standard versus FAF. If you have questions, ask now. Somebody says, how much do you rely on your VAs or employees to run client campaigns? None. I do it. It's very simple. I'll show you how. The only difference for clients is location. That is correct. To clarify, instead of live transfers, how would you position a loyalty program? I don't know. I only do live transfers. I don't do loyalty programs. Jason says, I love you, Jeff. You're amazing and beautiful. You have a six-pack. Oh, I mean, he says he loves this model. Okay, cool. If you're using one pipeline, et cetera, how do you know where to transfer the call? We'll talk about that in a bit. We'll talk about Slack channels and tags. Michael says, what if you're dealing with a niche that is already using a CRM? Great. Perfect. They're going to like you even more. Won't they miss not having access to the pipeline, or is the idea they can only input the leads into their CRM? Yeah, so I've never had a dentist, any client, any customer, doctor, lawyer, attorney, that's like, yo, thank you so much for giving me another CRM. I've had one maybe that was, hey, can you put it into our CRM? And I said, no, I'm not putting bad leads into your CRM. I'm only going to introduce you to good people. If you want, I can make an exception. And what will happen is after you do the qualification, I will then input them into your CRM, but that's our deliverable. And you have to issue me an override in writing. And they go, okay. And I found that they like that a lot more because it's a higher quality lead that's already been scrubbed and stuff like that. So I've never had a dentist, doctor, lawyer, accountant, attorney, anybody ever say, please give us a second CRM. And if they do, I just say, look, man, can you take phone calls? But we really want CRM, fine, I'll type it in, but you have to give me a written override. And for one client, we do that. We type it directly into the CRM. So it's not like they're missing out. Every once in a while, we'll have a dentist say, hey, can you just send me all the leads? I go, sure, here's a Google Sheet export. Just like that. So it's a very small scenario. Rose says, so 750 times 4. What do you upsell to the 3K to 5K? Again, like I mentioned earlier, it's just more of the same stuff. Another channel, more leads, more qualification, change in process, stuff like that. It's really not that big of a deal. The majority of clients upsell. Some of them do. I understand that it's normal for a client to cancel, but curious as to know why, common reason. We're going to talk about that in a bit. Good question. Facebook says, is there a backup in case Facebook decides it doesn't like something about your page and count and shuts it all down? So I've only been shut down for like 24 hours. And it was because we added a virtual assistant in the Philippines. It was the first time we did that. And then I opened up the business manager chat or whatever it was. And I was like, hey, you shut us down. They're like, oops, just like that. I think one of the reasons why I haven't had structural problems is because I'm not running scammy ads that are BizOppy. And I'm pretty sure that what'll happen is if I am shut down, a person will look at it and go, it's fine. And that's happened every time. We've had an ad account shut down and it's like, hey, can you look at this? Oops, sorry. 30 minutes later, it's approved. And even when I made a post saying like, we just got a 3 account thing and Facebook shut us down, they put us back up in like an hour. So I think the risk of like getting removed from Facebook is very minimal if you're doing honest ads, and very maximal, that's not the right word, very global maximum if you're running BizOppy. What if you could add $50,000 a month to your business type of thing? John says, so a Facebook page name, link to the ads, something generic. Yeah, so like American Carpet Cleaning Club or something like that. Sean says, have you created a new brand in the space for a Facebook page? Yep. And I paid Jared Stepez a bunch of money to build out the consumer-facing side of the business so that people will go to our website that want to look for dental implants and type in their zip code and find our client and then call them directly through a call number or a call rail number. Kind of like how Esurance was sold to Allstate for like 40 million bucks. So yeah, we are doing that. Again, old way of working, marrying your client, new way of working, shipping. That's it. Vladimir says, you have one Facebook page for different clients with separate ads, one Facebook page for everybody, and each ad account and each Facebook lead form is different. So yes. So again, one CRM. Onboarding doc. No, I'm not giving you the whole onboarding doc, okay? But you can make your own. Onboarding doc is a single document that has the ads, what they look like, the scripts, suggested ways of working, common FAQs, questions, not scheduled live calls. No recorded onboarding videos that are like 20 minutes long. No, I want zero opportunity to push back and reschedule. It should be 99% the same. No scheduled calls, nothing like that. You're never going to make it. They're never going to make it. It's always going to be changed. I remember when we did, we'll schedule your onboarding call, and half the time they were delayed. And I was like, great, so we can't bill today. I guess we'll wait till tomorrow. Just, it sucks. Oops. This should be delivered the next day for review and a same day launch. So when I communicate them through Voxer, which we'll talk about in a bit, like the next day, hey, here's the onboarding doc, we can launch today if you give me approval. Wow, just like that. Most won't read it like a car manual, but it's there so you can say, go look at the thing, like show offers. You didn't do a show offer, go look at page 3, just like that. That way you don't have to deal with another coaching call or deal with a phone call. And when my client team calls me, I go, hey, I hear you're loud and clear. I'd be happy to schedule a call. Do you have an idea of what you're asking a question about? They're like, well, what about blank? I was like, how about I send you a document first and then you review it and then you call me. And I send the document and they never call me. And it serves as a continual updating document of know-how and knowledge. Every time a client leaves, I add a thing. Every time I have a smart thing, I add a thing. It should be 5 to 7 pages to start. Ours is 14. It should read well, big font, like size 18. You put some upsells in there. That's a dirty little secret. And then have a scheduled check-in call at the end. Like, great, if you've read everything, and at the bottom of the page, schedule a check-in call. They never do it, so I get to like come at them, but it's fun. After client pays, I build out the ads in the CRM. I put screenshots of the ads into the document, like copy and paste. And I go, hey, Mr. Johnson, here's your onboarding doc. I invite them to Voxer, and I put in Google Docs saying ready for approval. That's our deliverable. So it's like Amazon saying, hey, we just shipped your stuff. Please wait 24 hours. You're like, cool, thanks. Again, same day or next day, just like that. Onboarding doc, you can figure it out, but you can see like, hey, pleasure to have you on board, Mr. Johnson. Let's do some great work. We've invited you to Voxer. You can change the ad or targeting based upon your feedback every 2 weeks, not consistently, every 2 weeks. Sometimes a dentist, doctor, lawyer kind of turn will be like, hey, the ads aren't working. Can we change it? Like, yeah, we have you scheduled for the 14th for an update. Cool, thanks. That's it. That's all I have to do. And you can see all the adjustments, stuff like that. Again, I do dental implants. Don't go into my niche. I'll send you a takedown notes to copy our ads, but it's this type of stuff. Again, onboarding doc. Any questions about the onboarding doc or anything like that? Richard says, 1 client per ad account, correct. Yep, I own everything. What assets do I need? I just need them to give me written approval, like a thumbs up in the Voxer channel saying, yeah, everything is fine, launch, just like that. Chris says, man, this is so easy. So this whole time it's been this easy run agency. Yeah, that's correct. We've all been taught wrong. Like, you don't need appointment setters. You don't need salespeople. You don't need an ads manager. You don't need a media buyer, nothing like that. You don't need it. I'll show you why and how. Albert says, why Voxer? Voxer is like a walkie-talkie app. And at the beginning and ending of the day, I can just go through Voxer and be like, oh, none of my clients have questions, thanks. And I can always just add in a team member there if I want, even though I don't choose to. But more importantly, I'm gonna say like, hey, we're gonna do this walkie-talkie app. You can add your team members, Mr. Johnson. So if you have a question, you know I'm gonna be the go-between. They're gonna ask me directly. You go, thanks, wow, oh my God. And to date, we've only had 2 of our clients ever add their team members. And then they ask a lot of questions the first 30 days, and after they stop, first 30 minutes, and then they stop asking questions. Tim says, do you ever get a customer list from the client to run ads to? Nope, because I don't want them sending me stuff. I just want their credit card, nothing else. And then it would be like a whole thing if I was like, hey, send me your customer list. And they're like, well, what about? I'm like, oh my God, I don't want any more but what abouts. Just give me your credit card, man, that's it. Amazon doesn't go like, hey, can you send us all the stuff you bought in the past? So just give me your credit card. Should be the same exact thing. So it is an option, Tim. It's a separate service that sometimes we charge extra for, like a reactivation. We charge like $5.99 or $7.99, depending if I like the person. And we do it in a way that's Twilio compliant. That makes a lot of sense. And it's a separate pipeline and as a separate way of working. And it's an upsell and people are pretty happy with it. So that's the onboarding doc. So now I have a client, you're running ads. Again, your ad that is your fulfillment should be the ad that got your client. So the phrasing is actually the client that got you, or the ad that got you, Mr. Johnson, we're gonna run an ad that's just like that for you. Like, oh, that's really cool, right? So your ads are running and you're like, cool, leads are coming in. You need a conversation kickstart. This will cut your Twilio bill by 80% and allow you only to follow up with real people who actually want the thing that your client is selling. No more dead leads. It's gone. It's problem solved forever. About 50 to 60% of my leads, my customer leads. So like you have your client and your customer. I mean, customer leads are non-responsive, fake, fraudulent, not a real thing. Half. I've seen agencies, by the way, with half my leads and 5x my Twilio bill. It's because they're mass texting, mass emailing, mass voicemail dropping, and robocalling all leads that don't respond, thinking if they power dial their way to success, everybody's gonna be happy. I'm like, well, someone's happy, and it's the CEO of Twilio. It's not you. And if you do that, by the way, like you're gonna mess up your delivery rates. Twilio and Apple will have a conversation, let's say scam likely or spam likely, and it's gonna increase your cost. You're gonna have a bad time, your delivery rate's gonna drop. It's effectively like spamming everybody, not a good time. Set up your trigger to do this during normal business hours called the conversation kickstart. Again, this is useful. I do it all the time, cuts our bill, allows us to focus. And for leads, by the way, that don't respond to this, I'll do whatever reactivations I feel like based upon the client campaign. All right. So again, pipeline status change or pipeline stage change. So you set the trigger, it goes into the lead column right here. and then sends a text message. Only do it during normal business hours, please. Hey, we just got your inquiry about blank. To confirm your interest, reply I'm interested, and we'll call you later today. Or don't, I don't care. Reply I'm interested. And then they reply I'm interested. Now it's a real person. And then we can focus on that person, just like that. Do it during normal business hours and be cognizant of PST versus EST. And now you're only dealing with real people. Really, really fast. Chris says, what if the client misses live transfer? We'll talk about that in a bit. Any questions on the conversation kickstart? If you're currently running an agency right now, this should be your like, wow, I definitely should do this moment. Do a conversation kickstart. Every time a lead comes in, send them a text message, just like this. Chris says, how do you deal with EST? There's a trigger that my tech guy did. And when the lead comes in, it's the client's name tag and then also the time zone. You can see it here. And then it respects the time zone. You can set up in your settings. I don't know how. I'm bad with this stuff. You can apparently pay Kyle to do it if you want. I don't know how it works. So again, conversation kickstart. Next up, hot leads trigger. This is where the fun stuff is happening. Michael says, what software is that conversation kickstart taking place in? This is GHL. All of it is GHL. Hot leads trigger. Hot leads, AKA response required pipeline. Figure out the languaging. I don't even know. I play with it back and forth. Any lead that does respond gets put into a separate pipeline for organization and focus. You do one trigger for SMS, another for calling. Cool Beans Digital, customer replied by SMS, move them to response required. Cool. Now my operators, by the way, only focus on response required. Hey, I should reply to this person's conversation. And now my operators can handle 10 accounts each and have acceptable response times as determined by the customer, not by them. Like an acceptable response by text message is like either immediate or a couple hours, not 4 days from now. And if you have everything in leads column, you'll get lost so fast that you'll hate life. But if it's in the response required column, everything is cool. Could you just check, please, Gene, just response required. That's all I got to do. And all they do is reply by text and then move the card to responded to. And that's it. If they've done the live transfer, they can drag the card over. If they disqualified somebody or booked the time, they just drag the card. But 90% of my operators' interaction with the CRM, response required, click it, continue the qualification conversation, exit that chat window, and drag the card over. That's it. So that's how we do 10 accounts per operator. Let me just double check nobody's in a waiting room or anything. All right, we're good. Any questions about the conversation kickstart or the hot leads trigger, aka response required pipeline or stage or something like that? Any questions about that process? Chris says, just got confused about the texting side of your things. Use it as an opportunity to find a time to get them on the phone. We're getting there in a bit. This is just to prove that they are a real person to start the qualification process. Chris says, because for us, we text leads to get them an appointment. Nope, we do qualification by text message. We have a very high appointment rate because of it. We'll talk about that in a bit. Jack says, is response required when they type in, I'm interested? So this is what happens. So lead will come in, that conversation kickstart will send a text message. If they reply, it goes to response required. My operators know they got to focus on that and continue the text-based qualification conversation. And then when they're done, they'll drag it to responded to. What's funny, by the way, is they will text message and then drag it to responded to. The person will reply. The card automatically moves back to response required. So it like bounces back and forth, which enables 5 operators to have one conversation. So it's very useful. Your callers only continue the conversation via text. That is correct. We do 99% of our qualification via text message. Ed says, so only the leads that responded to the text get moved. That is correct. They don't respond to the mass text, the mass activation, the conversation kickstart. They stay in leads for me to yell at them at 4 in the morning or just do another reactivation. Abby says they are texting within GHL. That is correct. Any other questions about hot leads, triggers, or anything? Cool. Automatic live transfer notifications. This is confusing for me. It will probably confusing for you. But whenever we successfully or unsuccessfully live transfer to a client, the operator will drag the card to live transfer column. So, oh, we did the qualification, did the live transfer, drag it to live transfer status. The CRM will send a text message to the client with that lead information. This is our only reporting. That's it. Our only reporting is by text message automatically whenever we do our job of a live transfer. That's it, nothing else. Doing this automatically is like a big tech setup. It's not, but I'm bad at tech, so your mileage may vary. Outside of the scope of this document, I call it internet magic. You can pay someone to do it. I don't know how. If you're smart, it's cool. In the beginning, I did it manually, which took me like 13 seconds. It's easy to do. I have to get a client, but here's what our notifications look like. Again, every time we do a live transfer, hey, Jeff, so I get one, or hey, Dr. Miller, that guy, we just sent you a live transfer. Name, number, and email, purchase time frame, self-reported credit score. Do they need financing? How many do they want? We did the live transfer, and here's some additional notes. That's it. How you do it? You need two workflows, F1 and F2. F1 is the pipeline set has changed to live transfer, and then you add to another workflow that looks like this. I know, I don't understand it either. But apparently it's like a tree. And then the first thing is, oh, I'm gonna have to blur that out, is like the tag includes the client name tag. No, go to the next one. Client name tag, no, go to the next one. Client name tag, no, go to the next one. Client name tag, yes. Oh, replace the name and the phone number. Again, I don't know how it works. All right, like it's a live transfer tree. I think it's doable, but effectively what happens is you send a text message based upon the client's information, and it works really, really fast. And Jeremy says it's straightforward. I go, great, because it looks like something very, very difficult to me. John says, can you zoom in on the live transfer sheet? Yeah, dude. Is that gonna work? Cool, I'm gonna blur this out later on. You message him, I'll beat the crap out of you. But yeah, there you go. So it's like, yes, it's the tag includes no, next. Tag includes no, next. Tag includes no, next. Tag includes yes. By the way, this client name tag. Yes, cool. Update the name and the phone number. And that is, then it goes back to this. It says, cool, send the text message. I don't know. Apparently Jerem says it's easy. Abby says, did you have someone set this up for you? Yeah, but just go to GHL, go to the Facebook group and be like, hey, does somebody know how to do Jeff's live transfer tree? And then I'm pretty sure somebody will be happy to like do it for you. Jason says, do you only send a kickstart once? Meaningful question. I send a kickstart, and then when our CBRs and LGSs or client delivery is low, I will do another big old text like, hey, did you get this? Checking in, or do a threatening voicemail drop like, hey, we only got 5 seats left. Do you want to take one? Stuff like that. And then I use that as a way to manage a unmanageable Facebook environment. So like if there's not enough, wait, hold on. If there's not enough to do like live transfers for a client, like, hey, we only did 2 this week. Jeff, we got to get to 3. Okay, I'll do a bunch of mass texts. So it's a variable that I can play with. Jeff says, I'm assuming these slow come to the IC. Yeah, there's a little share thing that I give you, but I don't know how it works, but yeah. Neil says, what percentage of leads respond to Kickstarter? About 50 to 60%. And what results in a live transfer? That is a really good question. I think 1 out of 10 goes from lead to live transfer, 1 out of 10. And I don't want 9 out of those 10 going to my client. I only want the 1. Like, why would I have to do the hey and the needle stack thing? Here's the needle stack, just done, just like that. So there you go. I think we're good here. Any questions about the live transfer process that I can possibly answer? We'll see. I think we're good. All right, cool. All right, bottleneck procedure power text. Sometimes you'll get a huge number of leads for whatever reason, or you do a big old reactivation. We're like, great, let me go ahead and mass text 10,000 people and mess up my internals. Don't do that, but if you do, here's what happens. If you do it, it'll clog up and overwhelm your operators. You're like, I can't believe we have 97,000 people to go ahead and have in their sponsor required column. What'll happen is once a month, Facebook will do that to you, and you'll get a bunch of people, and your response times will shoot up through no fault of your operators. It's just your system got clogged. One day, by the way, we got 350 leads, and the same 20 people were super active, and the remaining 330 couldn't get to it. Like my operators were just like going back and forth, and like we couldn't even get to the bottom. Like it sucked. So you set up what's called the power text screen. This is not what it's called, but I just did it anyway. And you just start hammering out last activity texts. So this is a way to get through, and like if you get overwhelmed. By the way, the best practice is if you have more than 50 cards or 50 leads in the response required column, do the power text process to keep those conversations alive. If you have less than 50 cards in the response required column, you don't have to do this. Here's what we do. We go to contact smart lists, response required, and then I click on one of the leads and I just continue the conversation, click enter, next. Continue this conversation, click enter. What's the conversation? We'll talk about that in a bit, qualifying conversation. Next, next, next. And I can do like 150 in a minute. And so I've continued the conversations so that when those top 20 get solved, my operators can go to the next one and get solved, next one and get solved. And it's a really good way of stopping the lead from going bad very easily, very quickly. So any questions about the power text process? Jeff says, do potential clients understand what live transfer is? That is correct. They do. It's just a phone call that's been filtered, qualified, and introduced. So the live transfers must be tagging the leads as they come in with the specific client. That is correct. So we'll go over that in a bit. So the cards, which are the leads, they come in, and then there's a trigger that you can set up. So like any lead coming in from this Facebook lead form, tag them as Dr. Miller and their time zone. You don't have to worry about the time zone, to be honest. Like, just tag them as Dr. Miller, and you'll know right there which is assigned to which. Tim says, I'm losing the thread. Can you summarize the process from what happens when someone responds to the client's ad? Yeah, so the client's ad, the customer will click the ad, type in their name, number, and email, lead form, answer a couple questions. That lead gets tagged and goes in the lead column here. The conversation kickstart kicks in. Hey, are you interested? They say yes. My operators go in here and do the qualification, which we'll talk about in a bit. And then they get them on the phone and do the live transfer. It'll all make sense in the end. Jeremy says, use UTMs. Yeah, man, I haven't quite figured that out. That's a UTM 101 I definitely skipped. But yeah, Brad says, what is UTM? You and me both, man. Let's move on to the next thing. Power texting, customer qualification. Here we go. So the customer qualification, again, 90% of our text message is, or qualifications by text. Originally, we were doing phone calls and nobody picked up and they thought we were spamming and annoying them. But when we did the text message, our stuff got through, everybody was happier. And overall, we were a better agency because of qualification by text message. You're going to be asking questions that are you interested in the product? Do you have the capacity to pay? When do you want to buy it? That type of stuff. Like, again, conversation kickstart. How many blanks are you looking to buy? How many fridges are you looking to buy? You're looking to buy 12 fridges. All right, cool. Are you working with another fridge company? No. Okay, cool. Do you require financing for your 72 fridges? No. Okay, cool. Our address is on blank, 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 and blank, blank, blank. Does that work for you? That's your client's address. Cool. Are you open to a phone call to see if it makes sense? Yes. You call them. That's a whole qualification process. The challenge is it's almost never like that. Like there's usually a delay, and that's why I have the response required type of thing. But this is their qualification. Is it doesn't have to be massively complicated. I personally aim for 5 to 7 qualification questions, and make sure the conversation flows. It's not entirely robotic. It has to make a lot of sense. Type of like because they think they're talking to like a good person, not a robot. So make sure that you feel like a person. I'm always playing around with the questions by changing them, putting them in Facebook lead form, switching it up, normal stuff. I'm ultimately always trying to find out what works. We're always making adjustments. And our operators are sending these manually. We tried doing a lead form, then pushing that to like a JOT form or more qualification or a GHL form, and nobody filled it out because it's like, I'm not answering all these questions. Oh, goodbye. That's what I do. And that's what they were doing. So we just did it by text message and it worked out well. Most times, by the way, this is an expert secret. It took me 37 years to figure it out. If you don't know what qualification means, ask your client, hey, Mr. Miller, how would you define a qualified lead? and then just use those questions. That's it. And then as the answers come in, you can put them on the CRM to the left, and you have to do custom values for it, magic, internet. But like you can see right here, this is a qualification conversation done by one of our operators. Name is April. She's in South America. She makes like, I think like $1,000 a month staying at home and just playing on the internet all day. She's jumping up and down, all right? You can see how many fridges were you looking to buy? 2 fridges, okay. Are you working with another fridge company? No, okay. Do you require financing? No. Can we call you? Sure, that's it. And as those conversations come in, she types them in. That's it. Abe says, zoom in. Dude, welcome to my eyes. Yeah, dude, there you go. Can I read that? Yeah, that should be good. So that's it. Again, don't copy and paste the stuff. You're gonna have to have some application of your own thought. And again, how do you, Mr. Client, define a qualified lead? That'll be different for everybody. I ask these questions because I asked my client. I'm like, they have to have a credit score over blank or a significant down payment. Cool, so we ask that now. So you just have to figure out what works. But again, 99% of our qualifications by text message. We tried doing it automatic. Didn't work the way we wanted it to. We tried the Facebook ManyChat bot flow type of thing. Didn't work the way we wanted it to. So we just said, screw it, we'll just do text messaging and we'll have a person do it. That's it. Jason says, can you talk about how much you pay the operators? Yes, in a bit. Chris says, interesting how you ask them to call you at the end, normally ask for appointment. Yeah, man, don't do that, don't ask for appointment. Hey, can we get on the phone? Because that's where money is, on the phone. And that's how real people talk. And if they're on the phone with my operator, they can be live transferred straight to the client. Just like that. What if you call and live transfer, the client isn't available? We'll talk about that in a bit. But again, this is the qualification process right here. If you run an agency right now, it's probably the second biggest thing that you can implement in your business after the conversation kickstart, which is literally, hey, can we ask you questions? That's it. And by the way, we're not prompting anything. Like, hey, can we ask you some questions? It's like literally like, conversation kickstart, I'm interested. How many fridges do you want to buy? Go right into it, just like that. John says, how's the upper frame the live transfer? This is how it works. Hey, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, we've just been chatting by text message. How you doing, sir? All right, cool. Hey, just want to confirm some information. Everything is kosher. I'm gonna get you on the phone with the GM. Is that all right? All right, cool. So your name is blank, you live at blank, and you live nearby our office. Yep, and you want 2 fridges, and you've got $75 billion in the bank and all that stuff. All right, cool. We'll tell you what, I'm gonna get the general manager online. They're gonna talk pricing, make sure you're taken care of and all that. Is that okay? All right, cool. I'm putting you on hold for 30 seconds. I'm gonna get the GM and then I'll introduce you. Thanks so much. Call the client. Hey, we got a live one. Yep, this is Jeff with Cool Beans Digital. Yeah, your boss is paying us. Yeah, we talked yesterday. Stop pretending you don't know. Yes, we're doing it now. No, you can't not put us on hold. Oh my God, fine, put us on hold. Okay, you there? Cool. Hey, Mrs. Johnson, this is Alice. Alice is over at Miller's Fridges. Mrs. Johnson is 64 years old, looking for $17,000 of cubic square feet. She's got a 7 billion credit score and wants to take a next step. Thanks so much. I'll let you guys do it. See you later. Bye. That's how you do it. That's how you do the live transfer. Oh wait, got some questions. Sean says, what's your go-to track all my time favorite comment? Leads are not ready to go. I was expecting ready to go leads. We'll talk about that in a bit. If you remind me at the end, I can give you some song and dances. I work in real estate with a little over 200 clients. Hey, tell you what, this fella up here that's doing a quiet 1.5 million. Where'd he go? He's doing 1.15. He's doing real estate too. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a bit. John says, I'm guessing only the pre-framing was the price tag in the ad, the rest is easy. That is correct. The ads do the work, not the person. I mean, that's why we're an ad agency, because the ad does the work. If you think your success with your business is based upon your salesness, you are a salesperson. If you think the success of your business is based upon your ad, you are an ad agency. You have to figure out which bucket you want to be in. Jeremy says that the infamous Mr. Johnson, that's funny. Mason says he's doing real estate working with realtors. He works with realtors. He does live transfers for real estate agents. Realtors, it's all the same to me. So yeah, that's how you do qualification by text message. And what's cool is like, it could be the same lead, name, number, and email. And that's all you send to a client. Client's like, this is the worst lead ever. They didn't pick up the phone, everything's bad. You send that same exact lead with like 8 pieces of qualification. They're like, oh, this is a good lead, but they were busy, we'll call them back tomorrow. Like the entire attitude is different. And it's just additional information. That's all you gotta do. Sneaky surveys, this one is fun, it's very easy to implement. Text that goes out 3 to 7 days after live transfer. It will provide feedback, areas of improvement, make your client love you. You can figure out a script language timeline that works best for you. I'll show you what we do. You can make client specific if you want, but we decided against it because I don't know how this stuff works because it's the internet and tech is hard. So we made it super general and it still works. Here's how it goes. Pipeline status changed. Live transfer, wait 2 or 3 days, send them a text message. The text message is, oh, and then add a tag just so you know. The text message, hey, this is Jeff with Lighting Company. A few days ago, you're connected with Jeff at Michigan Lighting. Did you end up moving forward with your lighting purchase? How was your experience? Did you make sure they're taken care of? That's it. Very easy to do. You can do it in 30 seconds. You see right here? No, haven't done anything. Busy. Your quote was more than expected. And this is me talking to them. All right. Okay, do you remember the procedure and the amount you're quoted? No, I don't, but it seems like it's 21,000, but I'm not sure. Okay, did they chat with you about financing? No, I told them it was pay cash. Okay, let me send this up the chain and see if there's anything you can do. So I screenshot this, I sent it to the guy. I was like, could you call this dude back? He wants to spend 21,000. Okay, could you quote 21.5 or 20.25? Could you do that? And just finance the 500, come on. Like, give a reason for this to work. What are you doing? He's like, wow, thanks so much. Like super appreciative. And it's very simple to do. I don't think there's a lot of questions about sneaky surveys. It's very simple to do. I've been talking about it for a while. Show offers. This is when your client provides an incentive to the customer to show and buy. Do this immediately. Oh my God, do this immediately. It's 100% opposite of most clients do, which is their payment firewall for bad leads. The reason why they say you have to pay for an appointment or run your credit to get an appointment or $1 or 97 or whatever it is, it's because they just get so much trash, they got to put up a wall. The ad is the wall. Okay, they've been qualified, they want to do it, don't make them pay. In fact, do the opposite, give them a reason to show up, bribe them. They need that, like I mentioned before, because they have a wide net of bad leads, not when they have a small net of qualified leads. I've seen show rates go up by 30% overnight and change the sales conversations from, I don't know if I'm interested in buying fridges to, hell yeah, give me all the fridges you've got. Have their general manager do it or your operators do it. Find what works, find a script that works. Here's a show offer. Mr. Johnson, I'm super happy you want to buy more fridges. The way we run shop here is if you arrive to your appointment on time, we actually give you an extra fridge for free, or we actually take 10% off the top, or we cover your first 30 days of fridge payments. That's it. Or we'll honor it for 30 days. We'll give you time to understand the procedure, shop around, make a decision, just like this. It's whatever you think is best. For us, it's usually $1,000 off the top, or we'll pay for your first 30 days of financing, kind of like a car dealership does. You can do this, your operators can do this, or the general manager can do this. But every time we've had a client complain, it's because of show rates, and it's because they're not doing this. And then they do it, and then it works. What ends up happening, by the way, I forget the person who asked, is that the front desks don't do this. And so I just have my operators start doing it. So it goes like this. Hey, Mr. Johnson. Yeah, just confirming the information, all that fun stuff. Okay, so we got a Dr. Miller down the street from you. I think what's cool about Dr. Miller, by the way, is he doesn't actually charge for exams. He actually has what's called a show offer. That's where if you show up to your appointment with him on time and move forward the implant procedure, he actually covers your first 30 days of financing. Yeah, I think it's different, right? Again, it's only if you show up and only if you mentioned it. Does that make sense? All right, cool. I'm going to connect you with the general manager now. Be sure to bring it up. Done. Fucking show rate through the roof. That's it. That's all I got to do. So it's a Dan Kennedy ethical bribe type of thing of like, hey, I'm going to pay you to become a customer, that type of thing. And with our products that our clients sell, sometimes these are like $20,000 or $30,000 deals. So they got to pay like $497 for the first month. I don't give a shit. Neither do they. They'll take home $19,500, just like that. Call recordings. Record every single call through the GHL CRM. Just go into your CRM and click call recording. You can put a whisper message so your operator knows it's from your campaign, because GHL's biggest flaw is it doesn't ring from GHL, it rings from your phone. And sometimes you have to be like, it's calling from Facebook ads. I go, oh, okay, it's fucking Facebook ads. That's obviously my campaign. Sometimes when you're getting an inbound, it'll say that, and it'll say, this call may be recorded for quality assurance, and it's weird. and people hang up. So I put an asterisk, which is illegal, but I did it anyway because I want to see what would happen. So it goes beep, and then that's it. So your mileage may vary. It's legal or it's not. I don't know, man. I'm not your lawyer. But with the whisper message, you can just put an asterisk and it still records. Again, not legal, but you can figure it out. So yeah, you should be recording everything. And sometimes, by the way, I will call clients from GHL. I will do a secret shopping experience and then send the clients a snippet of like, hey, here's what you said, here's what you should have said, just like that. Tony says, yeah, in some states, only one person needs to consent, so it could work. Yeah, there you go. You can figure it out. Internal client notes. After each live transfer, my operators can include some internal notes like, we sent them to Mrs. Johnson, but she put us on hold 4 times. Or they had us wait 6.5 minutes to do a live transfer. And it's very, very difficult for me to listen to every single call and then diagnose and scan and communicate correctly. Like sometimes, did the GM pick up quickly or not? Did they put us on hold or not? Was the GM familiar with the offer? Was the GM a total effing, you know what I mean? By the way, if you have a client in New Jersey, this will be your experience. Like every time we've called our client, it's just like, she is the biggest box of who knows what. But the cool part is you can do client-facing notes, and you can also do internal notes. So like on the internal notes, which is up here, internal client-facing notes, you can be like, hey, Jeff, listen to this call because everything broke and everything was bad and everybody was angry at me. It's my operator telling me, so I'll listen to it. Or external client-facing notes, which is like, hey, this person wanted like a $10,000 implant, but your GM put us on hold for 4 minutes. So that goes sent to the dentist. So the dentist gets the external, I get the external and the internal, and it just makes it very, very easy to scan and know what works. And you can do a custom value. You add it to the live transfer notification and you're good. Salary and bonuses, $500 part-time operator. You can take the morning responses, they do the afternoon responses, whatever you want. If you're struggle busting, you're like, I don't have enough money for an operator, that's cool. That means it's you. By the way, and you can do part-time operator while you're doing other stuff, and nobody knows the difference, and it's totally okay. You can get a full-time operator for $1,000. Standard 8 hours. If I had to pick, I go for the 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. shift, EST. We've just found that works stereotypically across the board a lot better than the 8 to 5, both because the time zone overlap, but also because most people really are not in the mood to talk about buying your stuff at 7:30 in the morning, okay? Like I know there's this whole line of thinking of like, oh, text them immediately in the morning. No, okay, doesn't work the way you think. The feedback you get is a lot of anger. And don't call me at 5 a.m. because you messed up the reactivation. So you can get a part-time operator, 500, full-time for 1,000. It's very easy, yes. You'll have people begging to pay you money, begging for you to then pay them money. We do bonuses of $1 per live transfer. And we're thinking about doing a bonus of X dollars if 80% of the accounts are green for the month, which we're talking about for the bit. So a good operator will get $1,000 a month, full-time, plus like $150 for a bonus, and plus like another 150 or 200 if all the accounts are green. So yeah, I'm spending $1,500, but damn, my business is working. This runs. It's the equivalent of like having a machinist make sure the machines are working, just like that. We recommend also to the client, we tell them, look, in the onboarding doc, I tell you, I recommend your staff gets a bonus based upon the shows of this campaign. They go, oh, really? I go, yeah, you should be bonusing your staff $50 every single time a show happens. It's a selling opportunity. And for the dental implant agency, not the blood center that's paying us $5,700 a month, or the medical research that's paying us, I think, $6,700 a month, just the dentist with all the clients. We have 2 operators in Venezuela. There's one of them is actually assigned to the blood center and the MDMR. So of all of our dentists, we run everything on 4 staff. 2 operators in Venezuela, 2 operators in Eastern Europe. That's everything. No media buyer, no project manager, nothing like that. So our costs are like $4,000 a month to keep the lights on. That's it. Every other tool is near free, except for GHL and Julia. And again, if you're starting out, you're the operator, and as you get clients, you can hire more stuff. I think somebody asked about this, so there you go. Any questions about salary, bonuses, internal client notes, call recordings, sneaky surveys, show offers, anything like that? Jason says, how many leads per month are 4 operators handling? Sometimes we'll get like 200 leads in a day. It's pretty standard, actually. Yeah, and they can handle up to 10 accounts each. Mason says, where are you getting your VAs? You can go on Upwork, you can go to the public group, you can hire a placement agency. For the first two, I hired a placement agency because I didn't believe I could do it. And then I just posted in the public group. And then I got a guy in Eastern Europe who's doing great, which we'll talk about in a bit. And then I hired his girlfriend. That's it. Yeah. Jay says, how many can you run on your own? My rule of thumb is, we'll talk about that in a bit. Actually, it's coming up soon. So cool. Case study for peanuts, credit to Robert Dobrolovich. I call them national campaigns, but that's incorrect. I'm start calling them case study for peanuts. I read ads on the internet pretending to be my client. I use that to test, check, and learn new ideas, better ways of working. And I use the same ads for my clients on my case studies for peanuts or national campaigns inside of my own ads manager, inside of my own budget. So I can be like, hey, Mr. Johnson, look, I know I'm asking you to spend 30 bucks a day. Guess what? I'm doing the same exact thing. All right. I spend 30 bucks a day testing offers on your behalf. I'm right there with you. They go, oh, that's really cool. Yeah, man, I don't mean to get clients. I mean to know whether or not Fridge's 2 for 1 is better than Fridge's 50% off. Really? Yeah. They go, cool. I can test price points. I can do TikTok versus Facebook. I can do phrases, ways of working, scripts qualification, discover what works, what not works, and say I'm the only agency running these campaigns, and then bringing back that information to my clients for the campaigns. And I can say, hey, we found that full mouth implants gets good response in New York, but doesn't in Washington, D.C. You know, it works in Washington, D.C. all in fours. Wow, you know that? That's right. You don't have a client in D.C. or Washington State? No, but when we do, we'll know it works. You can also use this, by the way, to fill your CRM with proof and super cheap leads. Have qualifying conversations, get the leads on your own phone, and stop just short of live transfer. Be like, hey, actually, our general manager is super busy right now. They're in the middle of delivery and all that. Can I have them give you a ring tomorrow around this time? They say, yeah. Hang up the phone. You don't have anybody to actually send them, so the lead goes nowhere. But you can fill your CRM and make it look good and make it look like it works and have a machine that you deeply believe in. And national campaigns are super cheap. I ran the same campaign. You see right there, 60 cents a lead. I got 95 leads. So I just filled up my CRM with 100 leads I was having real conversations with. Just like that. Jason says, do you worry about the accents for your operators? Not really. It's 99% text message. And like, there's clearly an accent, but I don't think anybody cares anymore. It's never been a problem. I think England and Australia have like this like accent phobia. Like they have to have an English accent. It's England, South Africa, and Australia. They think like it has to be an accent because everybody's like anti-accents. And I'm like, they're really not. Like, it's you just thinking that way. All right. Like, if somebody has seen the ad, clicked on it, typed in their name, number, and email, had the qualifying conversation, says, can I call you? And it's a Venezuelan accent on the phone, that's totally okay in all of the United States. So it goes the same thing, it's an Eastern European accent, it's totally okay. Totally fine by me. And somebody says, Aussies are terrible for accents. Yeah, man, I hear you loud and clear. But I don't believe that applies as much as you think, because we're not soliciting. These are real conversations that somebody's like, I am interested, I want to buy, I'm actively texting you, let's talk. That's all I got to do. And I'll tell you what, you can hire some English speakers for $1,000 a month full time. That's it. Alternate offers. Sometimes clients will have a competitive offer. Do not try to value stack. Simply ask them if they have an advertisable price point or the briefcase of money price point or a price point that's worked in the past or another thing to sell. You'd be surprised at how many clients are okay doing this when it's not their brand. Like, hey man, this American Fridge Club, American Carpet Cleaning Club, we're just gonna test some stuff. Could you feel comfortable advertising 37 for a single bedroom carpet cleaning? No, but I'm willing to try. Cool, let's do it. You can always say, hey, you know, you're selling Ferraris at 200 grand, nobody's buying this stuff. Do you have a cheaper version of Ferraris that sells a little bit better? All right, cool. Do you have something that actually leads or could lead into a sale of the thing you're trying to sell? Like, what do people buy beforehand? Can we sell that? Yeah. And you can also advertising financing or price per or starting price point at, like hardwood flooring starting at $1,000. Hardwood flooring starting at $4 a square foot. It's the same thing. The same exact thing, but one may work better than the other. Somebody says, what do you recommend for their ad spend budget? 30 to 50 bucks a day starting. If they say, well, we're running it at X price point and no one signed up, or if they don't, if it doesn't work or they give you some flack, you say, look, we're running this ad at hardwood flooring starting at $1,000. It's not really working. Are you okay with trying a different number, like $4 per square foot? Yeah, okay, let's try it. Some offers have different words, but mostly mean the same thing, like braces and clear braces and Invisalign. Yeah, they're different, but to the buyer, it's very, very similar. Full mouth implants versus on-fours. Yeah, they're different, but to the buyer, it's very, very similar. Some offers have different words for products. Again, that are very, very similar, like hardwood is solid, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, and parquet is a thing now. I didn't know that. It's all very, very similar. Switch them out, have a good time. And the cool part about all this, by the way, is success is on them, not you. All you're doing is putting ads out on the internet of what they're selling. No one goes to Amazon and says, hey, Amazon, you suck because your overpriced stuff isn't selling. They go on Amazon and they go, I don't want to buy that. I want to buy something else. And it's up to the provider, the product, the business owner to adjust pricing as necessary. So keep in mind, success is on them, not on you. It'd be like a personal trainer getting sad because their clients don't go to the gym. Jason says, are any of the people that you know or students doing this like a niche where there's no sale, like a lawyer? There's no fee unless they win the case. Yeah, man, a lot of people are. You can just figure out languaging and verbiage just like that. You may be stuck on the idea of like a price point. You should be stuck on the idea of a Canva ad. But yeah, that happens. And in real estate, people do it too. There's a whole, inside the IC, Chris, do you remember the guy's name who did the real estate live transfer thing? He's doing like 300,000 a month. I forget his name. Anthony Mann, that's the fella. Yeah, man, he did a class, paid him like a lot of money. And he shows everything. And it's similar ideas. Sean says, what are you seeing work lately for realtors to differentiate the offer? That applies to our business as well, like dentists, of like, what have you been seeing that makes dentists different than any other dentist? I go, that's not on me, like at all. I mean, that's the cool part about this is like, I get to say no a lot, which is like, Mr. Johnson, look, I'm not going to make you different. I'm not going to build your reputation, your brand. My only job is to do lead gen, qualification, follow-up. That's it. So what do you got? And that's been very relieving for me and very ownershiping of them and their journey. So I don't know about differentiation because I've never done it. Jason says, the old version of Lifetime IC, how do you get access, upgrade fee? I mean, you can give me money if you want, or a testimonial video, all that. There's a thread inside the IC. Live transfer. Operator does a text qualification, gets on the phone by calling or schedule an appointment. I prefer if they call immediately. Sometimes like they'll call immediately and the lady's like, I'm busy. Can we talk tomorrow at 4 o'clock? So then they go to our internal booked appointment calendar, schedule 4 o'clock. And then the operator gets on the phone, confirms the info and says, oh, it sounds like it'd be a good fit. Can I get the general manager on the line and they'll make sure taking care of talk pricing, start dates, etc. Customer says yes. Operator puts them on hold, calls the client. Hey, Dr. Miller, this is Jeff with Cool Means Digital. I have a potential customer on the line for you. Can you take the call? Yes, great. Here's a basic info, blah, 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 blah. I'll connect you now. Hey, Alice, this is Mrs. Johnson. Mrs. Johnson is blah, blah, blah. Looking for XYZ 1, 2, and 3. I'll let you take it from here. Operator ends the call. Like they literally hang up. The recording continues until everybody hangs up, but you don't want a three-way call. They're always weird. They finish, take some notes, move the card to live transfer, automation triggers. I get a text, doctor gets a text. That's it. That's how live transfer script. It should be on your operator onboarding document. Tim says, if the client's offer is no good, then you don't get any leads, they don't blame you. Correct. Yeah, because you're not biz-opping them. You're not saying, what if you could transform your business? And you're not selling them. You're like, look, this is the ad, it costs $750 a month. This is what we're doing. Get on the second call, the signing call. Like how much you charge? That's a lot of money. You charge $50,000. I think the market rate is like 30. Yeah, we're like really like we're the premium guys. I go, okay, so how many premium things have you sold this year? And they go, oh, 2. I go, okay. Are you interested in trying something else? Like, yeah, that's why we're on the phone. Cool, let's try a different price point. That's it. John says, does general manager get lead qualification questions before the live transfer? They do not. They get it over the phone. We tell them the basics, and then they get that text message after the fact. I don't know a way to do it beforehand. Guarantees risk reversals, drop them. You'd be a lot happier. They are suspicious, and they point to low quality relationships where success is on you, not on them. I don't like that type of stuff. So the dollar amount or your money back, try it out now. If you hate, I'll refund you plus $100. I genuinely believe they disguise a bad product that requires massive market feedback. They disguise a normal sales response of like, I don't want to buy your stuff. You need that feedback. And they muddle the real feedback that you should be getting. So don't do them. I got rid of them. My clients are happily paying their bills for 6-month agreements and without the secret escape clause. Like today, we got 2 big complaints. Dr. T in Colorado was like, we're not getting any new phone calls. I want to cancel. I go, are you sure we sent you 4? Oh, sorry. Right? Versus, Jeff, I hate you. I'm going to charge back. And you didn't give me a refund. Like, no, man, you're still committed. You got phone calls. Stop complaining. When the client says, what type of results? I say, look, out of 10 leads, 7 out of 10 are going to be bad. 2, 3 are good enough for a live transfer to send your way. From there, you still got to sell them, but that's the numbers. And the amount depends upon you and your budget. And literally says this right here. Right there. Teddy says, how do you assign tasks and callback time for the team to different clients, GHL tasks? I don't. Everybody focuses on their sponsor priority column. Rarely will I be like, hey, April, can you do Dr. T's leads today? And she's like, okay, but it's pretty rare. Jason says, how do you live transfer inside of GHL? GHL warm transfer, that's what they call them. And there's a whole series of YouTube videos done by everybody on the warm transfer process. I just typed it in off screen, GHL warm transfer, and you can see a guy holding up 2 phones. Like, this is how it works. But the way it works is you go to the green button, you type in the phone number, calls, and then the little keyboard says put on hold or warm transfer, and you click that, and then you have a new screen, and then you go, oh my God, how does this work? And you type in your client's phone number, you click call. That guy's on hold, you're calling client, call the client, and then it says patch call. Patch the call, everybody talks. That's how it works. But you can just Google GHL warm transfer. I call them live transfers because warm transfer is a marketer label. Live transfer is much more customer friendly. Staff, here's what you don't need. 99% of everything you've been told. You don't need appointment set, you don't need a salesperson. Don't need a media buyer, don't need project manager, don't need account manager, don't need another project manager. You don't need client success manager. You don't need check-in calls. You don't need coaching calls. You don't need 99% of all this stuff. This is done by people who run a coaching program that sell done for you stuff and haven't sold done for you stuff in a very long time. Done for your clients just want the thing that they ordered. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. Nothing else. Again, tell me I'm wrong. It's the internet. I hear you loud and clear, man. I'm just sitting in my seat. This is a high touch, high cost, low product quality model. If you have your client constantly talking to you about the leads, it means you're sending them bad leads. And then if they're saying, if your narrative with them is like, we'll teach you how to convert the leads. No, you should be doing that. You can do it better than them, and they'll be happier paying you more to do it for them. But burn out, cover your poor product, masking real customer feedback. If you need this and you're less than $500,000 a year, your way of working sucks. End of discussion. You can make $500,000 a year without any of this. What you do need is operators. If you're less than 5 accounts, you're the operator. No big deal. After that, you can hire someone who will qualify and call back to leads part-time, increase their hours as they get more accounts. Very simple stuff. Any questions about staff, guarantees, risk reversals, live transfer, alternate offers, national campaigns? I think that we went over. Jason says, how do you live transfer inside GHL? Did that. Somebody says, if your live transfer client is unavailable, what's the next move? You can mark it as unsuccessful. We'll talk about in a bit. Jeff, what are you drinking and does it boost ROAS? Yes, it does. This is very gross old coffee that I got earlier today, and I just kept refilling, and it tastes horrible. Yeah, it's really gross, very chalky, horrible. What do you do for live transfers outside of office hours? We only live transfer during our clients' business hours, and I'll show you how to easily communicate that with a custom Google map. Any other questions about this stuff so far? Staff, guarantees, risk reversals, all that jazz. Cool. Client reporting. We only report one thing, just like Amazon only reports when they delivered. You don't get the back and forth with them unless there's a problem. You certainly don't get the back and forth with the driver or the CEO. This is the automatic text message that gets sent by our CRM and triggers after a live transfer, not before. The information is gathered by our operators. We only report information that matters, called material. We only report material results that deeply matter. I fucked that up. For example, I've never reported to a client about their cost per lead, cost per thousand, click-through rates, or any false flag information at all. I don't do any of that. This is it right here. This is our reporting. Mason says, Facebook ad payments or receipts. I don't know what that means, but this is the only thing that we report, which is like, hey, that phone call you just got, that was us. You know it because we introduced you, and here's a receipt for proof, which is this notification. I, the owner of Cool Beans Digital, get a copy, and then the dentist gets a copy as well. Mason says, it's on a credit card. Are they asking for that? Yeah, Facebook charges their credit card directly. And I think like 2 dentists so far, but like, so how does that look? I said, well, in the beginning, they're going to charge you a lot, and then later a lot. And they go, thanks. That's it. Account manager and client success manager, 0, as near 0 as you can get. I deeply believe that account manager and client success manager is a position meant to fail. And I call it a Starbucks salesperson because I've been part of a $20,000 or $30,000 program and I had a client success manager. And whenever I called them, it's because there was a problem. And where they called me was because they wanted to sell something. That's what it was. And when was the last time you happily called your company representative? You don't want to talk to them for bad reasons. Either they're talking because something broke, or they're talking because they want a sale. And building a product business means you do not need this position. It literally allows for problems to exist because it's too service oriented and not product oriented. Like if you have an emotionally empathetic account manager who deeply feels, which is what you should be doing if you're account manager, they're going, that sounds really hard. Wow, I'm so sorry for that. I'll see what I can do. No, there's no seeing what you can do. That success is on them. We delivered the box of Legos. You don't get to call Amazon and be like, yeah, it's really hard to assemble Legos. They're going to go, thanks. You don't want to have that emotional exchange. You'll burn yourself out. Just make your deliverable so good they stick around. No check-in calls, no coaching, no training, no onboarding. We use Voxer for client communication. I always say we use this walkie-talkie. If you've got questions, put in there, I'll respond to you. Put your team in there and have them questions directly because you don't want to be the go-between. You can mainly do Voxer check-in calls if you want, or campaign summaries if you want, and guidance once a week if you want, but I stopped doing those and nobody has canceled yet because of it. They'll cancel for other reasons, which we'll go over soon. Quality control checklist. I use this probably twice a week. Mercedes-Benz has a 150-point quality control checklist on the deliverables. You should too. People in the IC have this document. Once a week, I'll listen to about 60 minutes of live transfers on a Monday from 8 to 9 and grade them using this Google Sheet. Allows me to adjust our correct our ways of working, our operators, our ads, or qualification questions. I don't send this to clients unless it's required or deeply required. Instead, I use it to better understand what we do internally. If a client complains, then I'll do it. All right, but 90% of the time, I can pinpoint it to something specifically on the sheet. Like Mr. Johnson, I had my project manager, not a real person, it's me, run through a live transfer of yours. He has some thoughts on your general manager. Can you check the recording and let me know what your thoughts are? And then I send them this walkthrough. And my operator, or actually just me, types it in. So like there's the operator, the lead's name, number, and email. They live nearby. They saw now the price in it, take the thing all the way down. This is standard for us. It's usually very high. Sometimes they'll mess up, but for the most part, it's very, very high. Again, did we do our job? Did they put us on hold? That's a fucking problem. Did the GM greet the lead appropriately? Were they inquiry and focused? Did they speak clearly? Did they put the customer on hold? Was general manager aware of what we do? All right. Did the GM have a discovery process? Did they confirm that they want to buy stuff? Did they do all this? And 99 times out of 100, a client that complains and wants to cancel is not doing this. So I can prompt it. Like if it comes up, I can literally just fill this out and be like, look, we sent you a 4 out of 5 and you did a 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 5, man. Could you listen to this call, please? Assuming it's a $2,000 deal they wanted to buy for. This is an $8,000 package. And the GM brought up an upfront fee and the customer was like, no, go somewhere else. So could you please fix this? And that works really, really well. Let's do the Q&A. How many clients are in this business model right now? I think 35, something like that. Not including the 3 that has signed but hasn't paid, that could be 12. Chris says, so you're telling me people in real estate like Anthony Mann are using those simple ads with blank Canva? No, he's using something else. It's like a picture, it's like a grid, and it's got a picture of a bathroom on the bottom right. I don't know, man. I don't do real estate, but it's all there inside the IC. Sean says, what would be your recommended method to effectively communicate with 200 realtors? Me wearing my Jeff skin, I would say, why would I want to communicate with 200 realtors? Like, do I really need to communicate with 200 realtors? Or do I really only need to communicate with 10% of my accounts at any one time, the reds? So it's not 200, it's 20. And I would have that deep, meaningful conversation of like, what would be the reasons for the communication, and how can we fix that proactively using this like quality control checklist. Sean then says, I keep building out a training to help them, but they seem to be continuously needing help. Like a lot avoided training recommended process for the program. Yeah, man, that's the problem with realtors. That's not a problem for brokers. So instead of having 200 realtors, you could have 5 brokers. And then they got that. And then you're just communicating to the broker like, hey, we sent like 15 phone calls to this guy. You know, here's this quality control checklist. He failed all of them. You should probably consider firing him. So that type of thing. Abby says, Jeff, will you ever allow us to buy the live transfer class again? No, it's the one. And I kicked myself. Yeah, man, my agreement with Anthony was that we're not going to be selling it. Like he was totally fine with me paying him doing some of the IC. And he's like, after this, I don't want anybody else. I don't want it like mass. I was like, all right. So I got to honor it. You know what I mean? Sean says, but I would say over half seem to need a lot of help and hand-holding. Yeah, man, if you're doing realtor support, you probably be better off migrating your client avatar from realtors to brokers, because brokers handle that support. I would do not suggest that you do that unless, I think Prasad, I think that's his name, does something like that. Let me see if I can, I did an interview with him. Prasad. Yeah, Prasad Mangat. I think he does realtors, but he does like a 5K training program and he does lead gen for them in their behalf. But if I was Jeff wearing Jeff's skin, I would figure out the deeper reasons why and let a broker handle that. I know that's not a good answer for you, but I'm not in real estate, so I wish I could help you. Alan says, how many live transfers does a client get for the price? Based upon their budget, usually 2 to 3 per week at 30 bucks a day. That says, so why does a live transfer work better than booked appointments and maybe charging a no-show fee? You could do that if you want. Never worked for us. Like based upon our client research, they said, I want somebody on the phone that is qualified, and then my staff could take it from there. I said, okay. So there you go. Alan says the client pay the ad spend directly, yes. And Abby says in the IC, yes. Chris says I had no clues in the IC. Yes, you have to give a testimonial. Jeff says, get asked a lot. How many leads per month can I expect? So I say, look, man, out of 10 leads, 7 are going to be bad. 7 are going to be bad. 2 to 3 are good enough for live transfer. That's at 30 bucks a day. So if you want more, spend more. And they go, okay. So in their head, they're doing the math. That's a very easy yes. And then if they push and they say leads, I go, do you mean leads for you or leads for me? Because leads for me is $5 a pop. Leads for you is going to be like 100 bucks, 150 per live transfer. Chris then says, but are there appointments involved if the client misses live transfer? We'll talk about that in a bit. Call auditing and internally. Every Monday, by the way, I listen to a handful of calls for an hour straight. I provide feedback directly to the operators in the Slack channel, like straight to them by DM. I will tell the operators I'm listening to the calls and report back any Slack adjustments, changes, or suggestions. At the end, I have 10 to 15 areas of improvement or praise. And I can later on edit and change my operator onboarding documents, and I onboard operators with a document, and then they get better over time. Like Jasmine over here, she's not doing the group talk. Like she just connects the call and then hangs up. She needs to connect the call and make sure everybody is there. Michael says, do you cover any of your process for actually running your clients' ads and targeting? All of our client ads and targeting is the same, and I don't go over it here, but it's the campaign. It's at the ad set level is dynamic. It's everyone within 10 to 15 miles, do that on the signing call. They're like, oh, is 10 miles good or 15? Just like that. We used to do income targeting. We dropped that. Instead, we put on the ad, we put a minimum credit score. And then our operators ask for minimum credit score. That's done better filtering than the income targeting. But all of our client campaigns are like 99% the same. Staff hiring. The operator job is an easily hireable position. If it's hard for you, make it simple. You should be able to post in the public group, Upwork, wherever, and find a stay-at-home person who's happy making 500,000 bucks a month to send texts and make calls and watch Netflix all day. If needed, you can go through a recruiting company that has people already vetted and filtered. $500,000 a month to get a good one, warranty 90 days. Ask them to send you a Loom video or a Zoom of them reading through the script and 5 to 6 sample calls that you've done for them to listen to, blur as necessary, and ask them, where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months? If they're saying, I want to run my own agency in 6 to 12 months, do not hire them. If they're saying, actually, I want to travel the world, do not hire them. No, like in 6 to 12 months, they're like, I just really want a steady paycheck. Great. You do not need to know or understand GHL. That should be 15, 20 minutes of orientation. You're looking for clarity of thought, voice, communication, and headset and internet. Venezuela and Eastern Europe and South Africa are good fits for us. And as long as they can work US hours, you should be able to go 0 to hired in less than a week. Very simple. Sean says to get your 75% margin, do you charge the clients any more than $750 a month, like a cost per lead? Nope, we do not. We just got better at our job, which sounds jackassy, but one operator can do 10 accounts. So like this fella right here manages $7,500 worth of accounts every single month. Staff training. You should be able to get up to speed with your operators with one 30-minute phone call and one Google Doc for training. If they ask too many questions, it's your fault. Either your product is confusing, your sales pitch is confusing, your Google Doc is confusing, you have too many variables, take that feedback and say, I gotta make my product simpler. Their job should be to rinse and repeat and do the same thing 99% of the time. Create a 3 to 4 page Google Doc. It may take some time, it may take some thinking to create the Google Doc. That's 100% okay. Hire them for 2 weeks probation. It's usually like 24-hour probation and 2-week probation. They'll do the job for 24 hours. And then, hold on. Yeah, do the job for 24 hours, listen to the calls, say, great, checking in 2 weeks. Cool, check again in 30 days. All right, cool, you're in. That's it. Their responsibilities, they're gonna clock in by going into the chat and saying, I'm in, do the text and qualification and callbacks and follow the script and focus on their sponsor required column. Call back the scheduled callbacks. So if somebody schedules an appointment, and then do the live transfers. That's their responsibilities, nothing else. They're just operators. Michael says you're running all the ads yourself. That is correct. It's very easy. I'll show you how. At some point, do you recommend hiring someone to take over that? Or is it all about maximizing margin because the setup is so simple? Yeah, if I hired someone to take over my media buying role, it would be a operator or a virtual assistant, not a media buyer. And we've got the ways of working established, so it just works. I'll show you in 2 seconds. Slack setup. Clients do not get access to our Slack channel. I don't believe they should get access to your Slack channel. That's internal stuff only. Slack should be mostly quiet, 99% of the time. It'll be used for callback reports, CVRs, lead generation reports, LGRs or LGSs, and end of day reporting. That's it. If you've got a lot of back and forth with a person, that's a problem. You do not have a communication problem, you have a root cause problem. Like, do not hire somebody to say, how do we communicate better? It should be, how do we solve the product problems that are causing our communication? Effectively, you should be asking yourself, why the fuck are we talking so much? Like, what's going on here? Figure it out, solve the reasons. 3 channels: general, CBR, LGS, to be covered later. But this is it. So there's general, there's the CBRs of the clients, the LGS of the clients. That's it. And there's maybe 1 message a day. Maybe 1 message a day. That's usually me. And everybody's saying, okay. Return on ad spend, you should be getting 5 to 10 return on ad spend with your clients, with your client getting ads. That's on the revenue side, not on profit. And that's over the lifetime of the contract. You should always be getting clients profitably within 30 days of your campaign. Do not go into the red to get a client. It's wrong. You're doing something wrong. I don't know anybody that gets clients unprofitably and actually runs a business. Apple gets clients profitably. Amazon gets clients profitably. This whole thing of like the first 30 days of the break even, that's a lie that we tell ourselves to cover up our own problems with money. 100% wrong. That means you, if you do what we do, but for me, $300 or so, and I should land a $750 a month client that signs an agreement worth $3,000. You're profitable in the first month. Do not go into the red expecting it to be around the corner without any real life conversations and the works are looking good. If you're not profitable in the first month, fix it. If you're on 10 sales calls and not closing 80%, it's either the agency on the phone, which is you, the client on the phone, which is them, or the program or the price. There's not a lot of variables. Some people say I'm wrong. That's cool, man. I've been wrong before. Agency margins, you should be running at 78% margins after the 5 client mark. Before that, you have software that costs. That's fine. Here's how I break it down. GHL and Twilio, $500 a month, inflated but fine. No landing pages, no Zapier, no Boxer, you don't have to pay for that. No Slack, you don't have to pay for that. Nothing. Part-time operator, $500 a month, or you. Total cost, $1,000 a month. You have 5 clients at $37.50. That's 75% efficiency. That's it. I like to hire a part-time person every 5 clients. This is someone's question. and make them full-time on the 10th client. So I always have an operator ready to go full-time. So I'll be like, hey, guys, we're coming up on our 55th client. I'm going to hire a part-time person. Hey, guys, we're on a 60th client, part-time person. Did you want to go full-time? That's it. If they say no, I go hire another part-time person. And then that person will be full-time on the next time. Callback means live transfers. I'm not 100% sure, Teddy, what that means. CBR, callback report. Oh, yeah, live transfer report. Yeah, it's a better name. You're right. At the end of the day, at the end of the week. So at the end of Mondays, whenever that is, all my operators report back their callbacks or live transfers. And then at the end of the week, I have a separate VA tallying up all the number of internal appointments and live transfers done by the operator. So an internal appointment is when they book on our calendar for a callback. And then the live transfer is when we call them and done live transfer. I prefer to have a different VA to see if something's fibbing. Connected calls means nothing, we're gonna drop it. And it's up to you to figure out your red, yellow, green. You should pay attention right now. Red, yellow, green. This client is green. They're gonna stay. Cool. Oh my God, we only did 0 live transfers to the client. They're gonna cancel. That's how I know beforehand. Figure out your red, yellow, green. For me, 0 to 2 is red, 2 to 3 is yellow, 3+ is green. That is what I told the clients on the sales call. I can easily scan, click, and go through the Slack channels and just click, 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 click. And I know our callbacks for every single client really, really fast. Usually we have 10% of our clients in the red. So out of 35 clients, 4 will be in the red. So I have to do some thinking. But that's it. Somebody says they're paying $297 for GHL. Yes, that's because I have our dentist on one, and then I've got our medical research on the other. We've got the blood center another, and then I've got the IC on another. And I was like, I guess I have to do the 297. So there you go. But you can run this on regular at 97. That may not be what you're saying. But yeah, CBRs, very, very easy. So philosophically, my agency operates like I really only have 4 clients. Those are the reds. That should be making sense to somebody. Lead generation specialist, I'm gonna change the name, but this is the lead on Facebook and how I don't get stuck in ads manager. Daily report, red, yellow, green. You can figure it out. For us, 10 to 15 plus is red, 5 to 10 is yellow, 0 to 5 is green. I can easily scan, click, and know which ones need changes really, really fast. Again, 10% of our accounts are in the red. But this is Jean. You probably interacted with her in the past. Client name, date, the offer. I don't know what that means. She just added it. It's the campaign name, but she calls it an offer. Cost per lead, number of leads. So you can see we've got 42 leads in a day, that type of stuff. So some of these like really take off. Month to month. You rent an apartment for 12 months, you get a renewal letter. It says you can renew for 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, or 2 months, each at an increasing price. If they don't hear back, you'll renew month to month at the most expensive one. Do the same in your paperwork, depending upon how much you want to be. Like, even if you don't really do it, you can use it as a conversation point. Like, yeah, I'll remove it, just sign. All right, cool. Now, Mr. Johnson, look, I know we charged you more because you didn't renew. We'd send you the emails, but you didn't respond. You want to renew for another 4 months. All right, I'm just going to refund the difference and then put you on our 4-month plan. Okay, did you want to save 10% by doing this 12 months? No? All right, cool. That's fine. Thanks so much. Month-to-month renewals. That's how you should handle them. Put in your paperwork. Soap opera sequences. It should be 1 email a day, every day for 5 days, specifically designed to get the customer to call and text you back. That's you, the agency. You can make it super complicated and super automation-y. You'll spend hours writing them out, or 0 to 8% really, really fast. I send 1 email a day for every day for 3 days saying, hey, text us. Come on, text us. What are they texting? Words. So it goes in response required. I tried doing send a blue and mailgun. They got angry at me, so I just used Active Campaign. Hey, it looks like you sent in for more information about getting really cool desks. Great decision. Do me a favor. Reply, I got it. If you haven't, see if you qualify by calling or text us at this phone number. And tell them what's going to happen. That's how we do emails. Hey, you scheduled your call, right? All right, cool. We have so many spots in your calendar. Call us and text us. Well, if you guessed it, the response has been amazing. The call us and text us now, otherwise you got to look. That's our email. Teddy says, how are you quickly filtering to see a specific live transfer per particular week? Go to your Slack, click on your CBR for that respective client. So CBR Dr. Miller, and you can see the callback report, the live transfer report, or the LGS report. You don't have to like go into GHL. You don't have to go into the ads manager. The I got it. These will save your IPs and your emails. You should think about response rates. Just like if you call 100 people in a row, nobody picks up, you'll get marked as spam. Same way with text and email. For the text, we use I'm interested as a conversation kickstart. Use the I got it for your soap opera sequence, and you'll save your IP from going in and hitting spam. So you can see all the I got it right here. These are people replying, I got your email, Jeff. Thanks for being awesome. Right there. The email saying I got it. You can do this today. Hot leads response stages. I think this is like a question a lot of people had or some confusion. Sometimes I call it response required, responded to. It's going to be fine. This way, working as two pipelines. This is just re-clarifying and reinforcing what we mentioned earlier. The lead comes in and gets a conversation kickstart. Like, hey, reply, I'm interested. The operator sees it, replies, and drags it to response required. The lead replies, goes responded to. It kind of bounces back and forth in here. So my operators only really have to focus on two columns, arguably one. This is why we can have 10 operators or 10 accounts per operator. Again, here's the reply channel or the trigger. So now my operators are only looking at the stuff that matters. That's it, nothing else. Sean says, are you adding clients, active campaigns separately, but working in parallel? No, so we run all of our customer getting campaigns under the same brand. So when we communicate with these leads, it's under our brand and it's all under one big active campaign. It's not split up, it's not customized. It's the same for everybody. Teddy says, I missed the part where you show how you're pushing leads from GHL to Slack. You're not pushing leads from GHL to Slack. What's happening is the operator is doing a manual report of how many leads are generated and goes into the ad account and reports into that client channel so that you don't have to go into the ads manager. So the end result is you're only looking at the ads that the accounts that matter, like the reds. Like if it's green, I don't care. Green, I don't have to look at it. Green, I don't even have to look at it. If it's red, I'll figure it out, but it's that type of thing. So the lead is not going in there, it's the lead report, and it's a manual person doing it. There you go. Teddy says anti-automation. Yeah, man, anti-automation. Here's the CYA. At the bottom of your customer getting ads, put a CYA. You can figure out your own. Don't copy mine and then complain doesn't work. Figure it out. The same way car companies advertise their lease terms and catch-alls. You can put minimum credit. You can put cash only. Includes, not includes. Like we have a guy doing flooring. So flooring starting at $1,000. That's one ad. It says does not include labor. Flooring started at $4, minimum 100 square feet. That's it. Usually doing this makes your clients feel a lot more comfortable. So have a disclaimer at the bottom. Live transfer attempted or successful. When we deliver a lead during normal business hours, cool, but sometimes they don't pick up, usually 2 out of 10. There's a million reasons why FedEx doesn't stop delivery. They say, hey, dummy, we delivered your stuff. We'll try again tomorrow. But we don't try again, we just deliver it. We do the same when we do a live transfer, the client doesn't pick up, our operators will mark it as live transfer attempted right here. That's a signal to the client we did our job and they didn't. So you can see live transfer attempted. That means we called and tried to connect you with a future customer and you didn't pick up. That's what that means. Chris says, for ads to get agency clients, would you put that advertising spend separate? No, I've never had that with our market or our product. If you get that feedback, you can, or you can just go ahead and double your price and be like, we approve, or we include it. We include $1,000 of ad spend. You can do that. You'll have to figure out your product and your price. But for us, like it's so normal for ad spend management to be separate. Internal meetings, we don't have them. That's a surprise for most people. We don't have them. You don't need them. If you're having stand-ups for your agency and you're sub $500,000 a year, you're doing something wrong. You don't need them. Just do your weekly daily reports. That's it. Predicting when clients leave. I can now predict client complaints and clients leaving 2 or 3 weeks before they know. Clients complain and leave us for 3 big reasons. One, the show rate is bad. Anything less than 50% of clients are going to complain. Again, anything less than 50% clients will complain. My response is always the same. Did you offer or even push a same day or next day appointment? What is pushing a same day or next appointment? Hey, Mr. Johnson, I know you want to come in like 3 weeks, but look, we're running this special for a limited time. If you come in 3 weeks from now, I don't know if we're going to have an opportunity. Do you really want to risk not getting your thingy? Okay, so you can come in tomorrow. All right, fine. Did you bring up a show offer? Yes or no? All right, Mr. Johnson, look, I know your show rate is less than 50%. Listen to this recording. Does this sound good? They go, oh, we have room for improvement. Yeah, that's number one. Number two, not enough live transfers. At $30 a day, you'll get 3 live transfers a week. If you want more, that's on you. Low quality live transfers. This almost always means credit score down payment. That's what they interpret as low quality. In our space, our clients are like, hey, if this person wants it, knows the price, and has credit, it's my sale to lose. Just like that. You can have the operator say that there's a minimum, put it in the ad saying there's a minimum. You know, the GM say we've teamed up with a third-party financing company to get the price down to X dollars per month, but we won't know the total cost until you come in for an in-person quote. And then I audit the calls on Monday. And if they don't get 2 to 3 live transfers a week, I know they're going to complain. So using the CBRs, I can check, are they red? All right, time to do some reactivation and get some more in the pipeline, just like that. Jeremy says, do you recommend a cancellation call like Seth? Doesn't have to be a cancellation call. Sometimes like, hey, Dr. T, I know you want to cancel. We sent you 4 live transfers last week. I'll call you on our way back home. You don't have to be scheduled, something like that. Sean says, your docs clients that sign up with you, have they always run ads Facebook ads previously? Yeah, every business has advertised. Every single business has advertised. There was some comment about how like this looks and feels like it's a first mover only type of thing. I'm like, no, man, every single business in the world has advertised in the past. Like there's not a single person that's like, I've never been to the gym. Everyone's been to the gym, even if they say that, they've been to the gym. They know of gyms, all that stuff. So you don't want people that have never advertised in the past. B, everybody has advertised in the past. And C, this is just about doing it better. This is not new opportunity stuff. And I know there's a lot of people saying, TikTok's the new thing. I'm like, you have a bad business model and all you're doing is getting different gas. We have a good business model that we can get gas from anywhere in the world. So you want to build your engine, your fulfillment way of working, make it top tier, and then you just shove in leads from anywhere. We're doing TikTok tests now and they work. And we have people directly competing with us saying TikTok doesn't work. I'm like, it's not because of TikTok. You said Facebook doesn't work. You said Google doesn't work. You know, you got to figure it out. So every client that I've ever done business with has advertised in the past. And it's up to you to come up with something better. Angel says, are your ads special category? As you mentioned, credit? No, we've never been stuck in the special category ever. Yeah, never happened. Reds with step downs. So if your lead generation report is red for more than 2 days, you should take action. So that's when your cost per lead is in the red category. Here's what you can do. You should be paying attention. Quick duplicate. Just duplicate it. Turn off the old one, turn on the new one. Easy, that'll solve half, maybe 90%. If it doesn't, change the inputs like your radius. You can play with that. You can change your age. You can play with that. Gender, you can play with that. You can get a different product or different price. That's usually the solution. You can ask a client for different offers, different price points, and present something that you think might work. Hey, Mr. Johnson, your cost per lead is like 10 times higher than the national average. This is normal for you? No? All right, I'm gonna present you some other ideas that's working for other clients. And that'll solve 99% of the campaign problems. By the way, I've never found success with ad copy, like I mentioned before. And again, the success on the campaign is ultimately not on you, it's on them, just like that. For your CBRs, if I get a red more than 2 days, I can go and I can reactivate specific clients. And I can reactivate whichever stage is best, either lead or responded to or disqualified or whatever. I can figure it out. You can do mass text or voicemail drop to everyone in that particular column. Let's just say it's leads as an example. You can say, did you get the message above? Thoughts, still interested, got 5 more spots open. You can do that to a specific client. And if you tag correctly, a specific time zone, weekends are fine. Just avoid doing a mass text at 7 a.m. EST, stuff like that. So let's just say we had a couple of clients, everybody was down. I would just go here, go to lead, tag EST, send it out. Next one, tag CST, send it out. Then MST, then PST, just like that. And that's how we fix these CBRs. Again, that's a lead that has come in, or we're not generating enough calls, or a client is down, or something like that. Mass text speed limit. So most people aren't aware of this, and this is why the Twilio accounts get banned. Do not send 9 million text messages immediately. It will mess up your internal operations, A, and more importantly, B, Twilio will block you. They won't tell you, but it'll go into spam and you get a weird error code. And that's why you have this like spam folder in your text messages. So if you go to your iPhone, filters, unknown senders, that's where your stuff is. That's what's happening with Twilio and Apple. Even with Twilio's super high-end, top-tier plan, it's 25 a second. Normally, for normal accounts, it's 3 per second. And you have to get your numbers verified. Here's proof. You can see right here, with high throughput toll-free, we have bumped up. It's high throughput. Nobody hears on high throughput. 25 messages a second. Nobody hears on high throughput. Nobody here's ever called Twilio and said, give me the high throughput, whatever. Everybody's down here, which is standard 3 text messages per second. So at the most, Twilio will allow us to operate is 180 text messages a minute. And there's a lot of people that are just clicking all and sending a big old text message immediately. That's why it's ending up in spam. If your phone calls are getting in spam or scam, you need to be verified by Twilio and get the block removed. I know they're saying block, but what they're doing is they're saying, we'll block you, and if you break any rules, we'll spam you. So you need to have the block removed and be compliant for your phone calls to go through. Otherwise, it's just say scam likely or spam likely. Here's proof. I had a conversation with Twilio, and by September, every single phone number needs to be verified without exception. Every single one. I know there's like an A2, A, B, C, something, doesn't count. Separate form altogether. Client map. I put all my clients on the map. It looks good. It's good for showing off to future clients. I put a pinned link at the top of each CBR channel. So like CBR Dr. Miller, pin the Google Map link. And my operators can quickly click on the location, see the client hours and any specific instructions. So if like one client is like, yo, nobody under an 800 credit score, fine, whatever. When you call, ask to speak with Jeff. Okay, fine. Hey, I don't want any more phone calls. Have them book on the website. Here's a backup phone number. Please do the financial qualification, all that stuff. So again, here's the CBR right here. You can see it in action. And then you can just pin the link and you just go to Google custom map. And you make your own Google map. You put all your clients there. And then when they click it, the specific instructions pop up. And then the operator can manually do the live transfer. Just like that. Sometimes, by the way, we'll get people calling us. We have no idea where they're from. So we say, great, what's your zip code? Oh, let me type it in Google Maps. We have a client here. Does that work for you? Just like that. It's a very simple way. You move a lot of stuff when you do it that way. And ladies and gents, that is everything. Ed says you don't use ad copy. That is right. Most people don't believe me, but I've had more success with a good Canva ad than simply with ad copy. And Teddy says best practices regarding ad placements for client getting, let Facebook figure it out. It's just automatic. That's all, folks. That's everything. Jason says, congratulations, awesome. I appreciate it. I genuinely hope this was worth many times the price of your ticket. And if this was useful for you and you believe that this was worth many times the price of your ticket, please leave a candid testimonial video in the pop-up group. I'll change the settings now so you all can like figure it out. Hold on, settings. And it should be fixed now. All right, cool. Please leave a candid testimonial video in the pop-up group, whatever you want to say. Not only do I deeply and meaningfully appreciate it, after all, I'm just talking to a screen and it's mostly just my head talking to my head. I will gladly give you our quality control checklist as a thank you. So again, I use this to check our calls, handle client complaints, and I go in and I put my ego into the sheet and that clients don't get it. So I can literally just like, how could they do this? Oh my God, I hate you. But our clients don't feel that. They go like, oh, here's an objective quality control checklist. And I would be glad to exchange or give you this in exchange for a testimonial video. You can use this to audit your phone calls, send to your clients, say, well, Mr. Johnson, every Monday we audit the calls. On areas improvement with our 60-point quality control checklist. And nobody else is saying that. And or use it for internal checks before problems show up to clients. So that's it, guys. Here's 50 hints, tips, and expert secrets taught by a done-for-you agency, teaching done-for-you agencies, not a coach talking to a coach. All the way through. Like I genuinely hope this moves the needle in your agency. Not just helps you pay rent, but build a business that pays you every single day. And this has been behind the scenes. It says we'll get the Google Doc. That is correct. You'll get the replays and all that stuff after Zoom does its thing, probably tomorrow. I'll pin it in the group. And last call for any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or ideas. Yes, you'll get the Google Doc. I'll make sure you're taken care of. Don't worry about it. And the replay will be posted soon. Brad says, will the group be dismantled? Probably, yeah. I'll make sure that Justin and Monroe and David will reach out for any feedback or something, but for the most part, it's a pop-up. Yeah. Does your agency have copying them? Nope, just the Canva. Did you go over what B2B metrics should be? Yes, sir. This is what's working for us. These are our metrics right now. Tony says, dismantle it. No one should have this information. I appreciate it. Jay says, so you upload a list and then run a lookalike. No lookalike, just custom. Just a custom list, man. Like, I've never had success with lookalikes. They're on the list. They see the ad that has a price point, a schedule. They're a customer. They're a sale for you to lose. So that's it. Ladies and gents, I'm going to stand by for another 60 seconds and do any last calls or any last calls, questions, comments, concerns. Again, if this has been useful for you, I would deeply appreciate a very candid testimonial video. And in exchange, I will give you the quality control checklist. Ed says, how do you know to adjust your pricing? Your adjusting should be based upon if somebody pays you within 48 to 72 hours. Alan says, what are thoughts on the Philippines VAs? It's hard for them to do the time zones, even though they stay awake throughout the midnight. I don't know. I hired people in South America because US is like, depending upon the state, half Hispanic. So it was more important that they're in normal-ish time zones and speak Spanish versus not speaking Spanish. So that worked pretty well for us. Josh says, where's the QA checklist? It's in there. I'll give it to you later. Tim says, would this work for clients that sell online rather than local business? That I don't know, Tim. I only do local businesses. I don't do e-commerce or anything like that. So I don't know. Last call. All right, ladies and gents, that is it. Like I mentioned before, I really hope this was useful for you. I'll send you all the replays and the doc. That's it, all right? Everyone, go kick some butt, go make some money. See you later, bye.